The vast majority of numbers you see on the internet aren't real. The accounts that you interact with, the posts that you see, oftentimes aren't even made by a human being on the other side of the keyboard. The cyberspace is dominated by bots. And unless you've just woken up from a coma, this isn't news to you. Everybody knows that now. It's an accepted part of cruising the World Wide Web that the shit you see is artificially inflated. And it's become a huge yapping point, a massive topic, specifically dead internet theory, and diving even deeper into the minutia of bots. Cannonballing into the deep end of the pool, you will find viewbots, a topic that often gets very aggressive and accusatory because it is so prevalent across streams, in particular on Twitch, on YouTube, on Kick. Streamers of all shapes and sizes are often using viewbots to boost their numbers. It's not some big conspiracy, it's not deep state propaganda or anything like that. It is a provable, real thing that platforms just don't seem to be taking any real action on at all. I could right now go live on Twitch openly stating I'm viewbotting it out the wazoo to fucking 20k viewers, and maybe the worst that would happen is I get like a 24-hour suspension from Twitch. They don't care. They made that push like a year ago about getting bots off the platform, but that lasted for what, 2 fucking days? And then they took like a catastrophic hit to their overall viewer metrics, and I guess they pumped the brakes because at the end of the day, and this is something people say a lot, and it is true, those huge numbers are good for Twitch as well to advertisers, even if the numbers are fake, even if they know it's botted, phony baloney, fraudulent viewer metrics. It doesn't matter. It makes them more appealing to brands. So it seems like they are very hands-off when it comes to doling out big punishment for viewbots. It's not exactly a well-kept secret. It's pretty out there in the open that tons of streamers viewbot. Now, the reason why I'm yapping about it again is because just yesterday, or maybe it was even earlier today, I don't know, time moves in a weird fucking fashion once you hit your 30s. Everything blends together, your bones fucking creak anytime you walk up or down stairs. Anyway, though, I'll stop bitching and whining about that. I know you're not here to listen to me play a sad song on the world's smallest violin about my deteriorating cartilage. The CEO of Night Media, Reed, came forward with a post out of nowhere saying that it's time to start viewbotting. That's the title of the post, which is a eye-catching title, no doubt. Very seldom will you hear someone in that kind of position just say the quiet part out loud here about success in the streaming space. And make no mistake, Night Media is fucking huge. They are one of the top dogs in the YouTuber streamer agency space. They are huge in the industry. They represented Mr. Beast for a while. I don't know if they still do, but they have represented and still actively represent massive creators. So it was certainly interesting to see him with a post like this that makes it seem like he's out there saying, everyone's got a viewbot, we got to open Pandora's box. If you're not pooping, you're farting. If you're not using viewbots, you're at a disadvantage. Wake the fuck up, samurai. Time to get viewbots on the horn. But reading the post, it's a little bit different, though ultimately his tone around viewbots does seem to be somewhat positive. What does it take to cut through all the noise on the internet? If everyone else is botting, why shouldn't you? We used to live in a world where if you made great content, algorithms would find an audience for your videos. Now, creators have to clip farm, pay clippers, and sometimes even viewbot to have a better chance of capturing more attention and breaking through the noise. This is especially true on platforms like Twitch, where viewbotting can surface you on the front page of popular streaming categories. Off rip, this is some turbo doomer shit because it kind of positions it as like your only option if you're just getting started. Oh, there used to be a time where if you made great content, you could get found, but those times are way behind us in the shitter now. It's gone. That's an era long forgotten, like the saber-toothed tiger. Now, if you want to cut through the noise, you gotta clip farm, pay clippers, or Lord help us, even viewbot. You gotta get down and dirty in the pig pen. It's the only way. When that's not true. You can still make great content and get found. It does happen. I think the best example of that is Queso. I would be shocked to learn Queso viewbotted at any point in his life. I don't even think the guy could find a viewbot website or provider. I genuinely don't think he would even know where to begin with something like that. And he has blown up solely because he makes good content. He cut through the noise. And this is something I've always said, luck is a huge part of it. It is. It just is. But what he is right about is that in the current day and age, there is an alternative that doesn't rely as much on RNG, and that is pay to win. You can stand a better chance of standing out in the oversaturation of content creation by paying for view bots to float your stream to the top of categories, or pay for view bots on other socials where you're spamming clips from your streams so you could boost up numbers on, you know, a wacky moment or something and have it like explode elsewhere because you inflated the numbers through view bots, so then people could find your stream and maybe organically grow it that way, but you still view botted in order to boost a clip that led people to the stream. Like, there are paths that don't rely as much on luck, because if you just have money to start and just start buying views, it does help put you in front of more eyes. It's something that's very common, especially on Twitter. But at the end of the day, I just don't like this mentality that Reed kind of encapsulates here of, well, everyone else is cheating, so I should too. And he's trying to make like a strong argument that everyone else is doing it. Content alone, it could be the most slapping, banging content ever. It's not good enough. It's all about the distribution method now, which is dominated through bots and shit like that. So really, you got to think about this strategy of using bots. I just don't like how he's positioning bots as a strategy instead of calling it what it really is, which is cheating. Like, yes, you can gamify the distribution and shit through bots. Everyone fucking knows that. But I just don't think it's something that should be outwardly encouraged. And it's really weird that the CEO of Night Media, one of the biggest agencies in the space, especially for streamers, is having this kind of viewpoint. Like, his title isn't exactly indicative of his thoughts, because he does say, like, this is a problem, this is an exploit, but he speaks about it like, this exploit exists, so you have to use this now. It's like, you really should, like, almost that it's a necessity. And I just don't like that perspective, nor that mentality. I just think there's a reason why this topic on viewbots is always so passionate from so many people, because viewbots fucking suck. Nobody likes that. It is just a completely dog shit norm right now. And I don't think it needs to be even more normalized. But it's not some requirement or anything like that. Reed then goes on to make a mention of advertisers and viewbots. Do advertisers have any way of tracking botted engagement, and why isn't Twitch cracking down on this at all? Those are two really good questions. The answer to do advertisers have a way of tracking botted engagement is a big nobody fucking knows. My gut tells me there's no way advertisers would have any clue, because how would they? How would they distinguish between authentic and real viewers through just a number plastered on a stream? It'd be entirely on Twitch to take care of the bots and get that number to be where it's like the authentic viewers and not just like, you know, fraudulent ones. I don't see how they could ever possibly know what's real and what's fake based on just the publicly available information, and I doubt Twitch is behind the scenes saying, okay, so your advertisement was played in front of 1 million concurrent viewers over the course of this campaign. Of that, about 15K were real human beings. We really appreciate your business. Like, I highly doubt that fucking happens, right? Like, it doesn't happen on a streamer basis with sponsors either. So, like, if a streamer is botting his stream up to, like, 5K, but really he only has, like, 1,000 real viewers there, and he works with a brand, and he sells to this brand at the 5K concurrent viewers, he's making a lot of extra money versus if he sold at his real 1K, and now the brand gets put in front of what they believe is 5,000 people, but is actually 4,000 bots with only 1,000 real people there. So maybe the campaign only sees them make like 3 fucking sales. Like, man, Perry Poutine Gotcha Game only got 3 clicks through this guy's stream, even though he has 5K concurrent viewers. What's going on here? And then you can maybe speculate and surmise that, okay, he's botting. But then you'd also never really know for sure, because you could also say like, okay, maybe his community's just not interested in this gotcha game. These brands, I don't think have any idea, is the point I'm making. I don't see how they would. It's entirely on Twitch to combat the bots, and I don't think there's a way or a tool that these brands have access to that normal people don't, that lets them see real versus fake viewers. And then to Reed's second question about why does Twitch not crack down on it, I think everyone knows, because Twitch also benefits from these hugely inflated numbers. They see a lot of upside to these massive numbers being housed on Twitch. I think that's pretty clear. Probably don't need to dive any deeper on that. And it is something that he starts to tackle in his next section here about platforms needing to take action. He goes on to talk about, how prevalent the botting problem is, as well as the reluctance from platforms to act on it, believing that the more views there are, the better things look for advertisers, which many people agree with. And again, that probably is the simple truth of it. If these numbers are huge, the platforms are probably very happy because then it's more appealing to advertisers. It could end up with more money to the platform itself. I think it really is that simple. Now, it's this section that ties directly into the eye-catching title that he used here for this piece. If everyone else is doing it, should you? I would never explicitly say you should bot your views on Twitch, other than in the title of this article. But the reality is, if you're not view botting and everyone else is, you're at a disadvantage. When you're competing in a category where you're buried if you don't have 500 plus viewers, maybe shifting your strategy to paying clippers and buying bots helps a streamer break through. I wanted to see what it would cost to bot a stream, and for $180 a week on ViewBotter, I can get 1,500 followers, 225 chatters, and 750 concurrent viewers. Not bad for less than $800 a month, and these companies accept crypto payments. So he's saying that he's not actively advocating for view botting your channel, but if you're not, well, you got your own dick in your butt. Like, everyone around you is doing it. Maybe you should shift your strategy. I don't know. To me, that feels like he is advocating for it. Maybe I'm on the crack pipe. He's pointing out a real problem, that these platforms don't enforce it, so the precedent has been set that there's no actual consequences. But it does seem like he's saying, you really should view bot your streams if you want to succeed. And he does prop it up as a legitimate strategy and even insinuates that it's not like super expensive, saying, not bad for less than $800 a month. Look at this huge head start you can get. Really should be something to consider. And I get it. It is something that people obviously consider and pull the trigger on, no doubt. But it's not exactly something that I think should be encouraged either. It sucks. It is a bad practice. And there's a reason why this is such a big topic, because people don't like view botters. It's not something that I think should be talked about in a manner that feels like it's positive and encouraging, and even setting it up as maybe even your only option if you want to stand out, because as Reed said multiple times, good content isn't good enough. You got to really consider distribution, and distribution view bots can really do wonders for. I don't know. To me, it just rubs me the wrong way. He then closes by talking about view bot detection and how Twitch CEO mentioned it's a game of cat and mouse, and that really there's not a whole lot of great information that he could find on how brands can detect view bots or anything like that. And then he finishes the big takeaway. We've entered an era where good content alone isn't enough, distribution tactics are. When clipping, paid amplification, and even bots can artificially push you up the rankings, the playing field starts to tilt toward whoever is willing to game it. Twitch's detection tools feel reactive at best, and advertisers don't seem to have a reliable way to verify what's real. If botting becomes normalized, creators face a brutal question. Compete clean and risk invisibility, or bend the rules to survive. Long term, though, this erodes trust in the entire ecosystem. Again, he drives that point home about good content alone isn't enough. It's all about distribution tactics, and I just firmly disagree. Good content alone is sometimes enough. But again, it does take luck. It does. It always has, and it always will. Distribution tactics, though, he's right, can be gamified and boost your shit and immediately give you a better chance, so you're not overly reliant on luck. If you'd rather focus instead on pay-to-win mechanics through clippers and viewbots and stuff like that, then you would be entering the Thunderdome competing head-to-head, toe-to-toe with countless others who are doing that daily. That is very, very common. And in many, many cases, it's hard to tell if it's real or fake. So it is a legitimate problem, and it sucks that platforms don't do anything about it. He's not wrong about the core, that there is a huge problem because these platforms don't crack down on viewbots. Now everyone fucking does it seems. And it fucking blows. And I imagine he's right that it is a very real consideration for tons of streamers. Well, why would I even bother trying to do this legitimately when everyone else is fucking cheating? Everyone else is viewbotting, so why wouldn't I? And it's hard to argue, because it's morally correct to, play fair. It would be hard to make someone be okay, then I'll do that and go nowhere unless I get fucking crazy lucky. When the alternative is apparently, cheap view bots that give them a better chance. It's something that he's not wrong about in his assessment here. Again, I just find it weird that it feels like he's speaking on it like almost positively, like you're at a huge disadvantage, you really need to think about this strategy that actually isn't all that expensive if you want to compete on an even playing field. Because at the end of the day, I don't think viewbots are something that should be encouraged. I don't think it should be twisted to the point where people consider viewbots like a strategy as opposed to just cheating. Because viewbots are bad for everyone. There's a reason why it's such a passionate topic for so many people. Because it sucks. It sucks for the people that aren't doing it, and it sucks for viewers too. Like, viewbots are just shitty overall, like genuinely. So like, it's not something that I'd like to see more people start being like, yeah, let's start really thinking about doing more viewbotting, as if there's not already enough. So anyway, this was a very interesting post, to say the least, and I just wanted to yap about it. That's really about it. See ya. All right, hold your horses. Twist my arm, why don't you? I'll review Fallout Season 2. I wasn't planning on it because I'm so tardy to the party with it. I only finished Season 2 like 3 days ago or something like that. And the conversation's been there, done that, and now that the dust is settled, I guess I'll give you my thoughts on it because people keep asking. I thought it was alright. I think it's much weaker than Season 1. There are quite a few things about it I found disappointing and just a step backwards compared to where they were last season. And that's not to say Season 1 was perfect or anything, but it was very solid. I really did enjoy it. I went in expecting like poop and maybe even a little shit, but I actually got something that was entertaining. Season 2, though, while I didn't get any, fecal matter or anything, it is just not as strong. There were still things I liked about it, but overall, as a complete package, it just left a lot to be desired. I guess before diving into complaints, I'll at least give you like the things I really liked about the season. I think they nailed the look of New Vegas. I really think they crushed it. Like, they did a great job in Season 1 with sets and costume and everything. Like, I do think they capture the spirit of the games really well. In Season 2, it's no different. I think they absolutely knock it out of the park with the way New Vegas looks. I think they crush it with the characters. Deathclaws, I thought, looked great. Outside of one scene where it got a little janky, but for the most part, I really think they nail the aesthetic of New Vegas, and I do think they capture the spirit of it as well for the most part. The action, again, shines. I think they do a really good job of bringing the over-the-top gore from the game to the show and keeping like the almost silliness of some of the, blowing people's limbs off and shit intact and making it feel like it fits in the show. I do really like the way they handle action. I think they've continued to do a good job with Season 2 in that regard. I think the action slaps. Though there are quite a few things. It's not quite how I remember it from the game. Granted, it's been many years since I played the game, but it doesn't follow what I thought it would from the established lore of New Vegas. But what they put here still works in the context of the show. So I can excuse it to a certain degree. There were some things I really didn't like about some of the changes they made, but overall, I thought it was fine in the context they built it in for this series. That being said, I've got to make a mention, and I know this is supposed to be like, the thumbs up moment, the thumbs up section here, but I have to make a mention that what they did with the factions here, I think, was a big old blunder. I don't really like the changes they made to the factions at all. I guess we can get into that more in a minute if I want to dive deeper into spoilers, but if you played New Vegas, you're better off just neuralizing yourself and forgetting everything that happened in there, especially in regards to factions, because the show takes pretty much none of it. But like I said, what they do and like how they change it fits in the context of this show, but even still, I couldn't help but be disappointed, specifically about some of the decisions they made with the factions. I also think that the best part of Season 2 was the flashbacks. I think that's where the writing's the best, because outside of the flashbacks, I think that's when it really stumbles. The worst part about Season 2 is the writing. It's what really holds it back, and I think that's where they took many steps in the wrong direction when it comes to the Fallout television series here. It honestly felt like there were just moments where the writers just said, fuck it. Like, in the writing room, someone was just like, guys, we're thinking too hard. Just run it as is, and we'll just, fingers crossed, hope no one really stops to digest it. Because there are some nonsensical shit that goes on here. Best example, spoiler alert, the death clause in New Vegas. New Vegas is not the way it was in the game. I do think it looks very similar, and I think they capture this, like, the aesthetic of it, and I think it looks really cool, but they do make a crucial change, which is now it's infested with Deathclaw. And people live just outside of this barricade. And there are a bunch of Deathclaws in there, and at the end of the season, Maximus fights the Deathclaws in there. And he starts beating some of them, but there's a lot. And then at one point he gets tail whipped and sent through the barricade. Very easily. Like, the Deathclaw could have broken through this. It is literally like one piece of sheet metal. And they launch Maximus through it like a fucking missile. And now all of a sudden the Deathclaw start pouring out into the area where people live. Why the fuck are people living there with all those Deathclaws on the other side of a very flimsy, unreliable barricade? And why are the Deathclaw not going out there and eating them at any point? There is a plentiful food source on the other side of a very tiny barricade they could easily break out, and yet they just never do. I guess maybe the idea is the Deathclaws are too stupid to do that? I don't know. It just felt really weird. And like, I tried to cope initially like, oh, maybe it's just because the power armor was so heavy that it busted through this near impenetrable barricade. But then the question naturally arose in my noodle, well, if the power armor is so heavy that it can do that, then the Deathclaw must be like 10x that strength in order to ragdoll the power armor like that. Meaning, if they just hit their tail against that barricade, it would have fucking disintegrated it. So, like, there's no way of spinning it where the Deathclaw couldn't have been going through that barricade anytime they wanted to. They just, I guess, decided they never wanted the food on the other side. And I just really don't get why people would choose to live there knowing the Deathclaw are there. Just very odd. Very, very weird choice there. And there's a couple other moments like that. For example, like, there's a scene where the ghoul gets punched and impaled on a big spiky pole in the middle of town. And he is there for like an entire day. And the town just goes on around him. He's asking for help. No one helps, which I think fits perfectly in line in the Fallout universe. But also, nobody steals from him. Nobody goes over and kills him or anything. No one steals anything from him. No one messes with him. I thought the implication was going to be when he was stuck on that pole and starting to, go feral, was that people were going to go just start stealing from him. Then he was really going to be fucked. But that never happened. They just leave him alone and ignore him. Which, ignoring the cries for help is one thing. That makes sense. But you're telling me no one there in this world, this town of people that do anything to survive and scavenge supplies, you're telling me they wouldn't go just take the easy supplies from this ghoul's bag who is completely stuck on this pole? Like, come on. No, don't, like, be serious. There's just some moments like that where it just, and another one, sorry I keep going down these, but the more I think about it, the more, like, ridiculous it is. Norm, Lucy's brother Norm, who I think has another interesting side plot that goes on throughout here, which gives you a lot more insight into like actual employees of Vault-Tec who have now been thawed out. He is now in a position where they've turned on him, it's mutiny, and he's about to get killed, but then rad roaches come through and start killing all of the vault dwellers that were about to kill him. And how does Norm survive? He hides under a table that is literally like a picnic table. It is just open on all four sides. And the rad roaches go right by him, kill all of the vault dwellers, eat them for a while, and then just leave. Presumably going right by Norm, who is just exposed in the open there under that table. Why? He didn't have like the cloak of invisibility or anything. The rad roaches had already been spotted like on the ground and everything. They would have seen Norm. Why didn't they kill him? And also, they were feasting upon and killing all of the vault dwellers for quite a while, and yet one of them survived. Conveniently, the one Vault-Tec employee that Norm had befriended. It's just very, like, the plot armor they give characters in Season 2 is, like, just very peculiar, because they don't even bother trying to give you a logical explanation for how they could have possibly survived. And oftentimes just felt kind of flat. I'll be getting into some spoilers here, but since the show is still pretty new, I won't get into like the biggest spoilers. But one thing this season did is they really seemed to want to do more gags. Like, that's the impression I got. Now, season one, of course, still had like comedy and stuff in there. It's fucking Fallout. Of course that's going to be there. And I thought it did a pretty decent job capturing that spirit in season one. In season two, I think overall they do a good job of capturing the spirit of the Fallout world. But when it comes to its characters and some of like the jokes they tried to play off, I thought they really fucking fumbled and fell flat on their face. Like, the entire side plot of like the inbreeding support group, I thought offered nothing and was just like a headache every time they were given screen time, and they got way more screen time than I think they ever should have for the role that it played in the show. So like, incest jokes were in season one, and they were kind of like, haha, that's wacky. But in season two, they go hog wild with incest jokes. They even like attach a whole hemorrhoid onto the overall narrative ass, where Reg now has an inbreeding support group, which is supposed to help, vault dwellers overcome the trauma of the circumstances around their birth being the product of incest and inbreeding. But he offers snacks, and the vault dwellers don't actually care about any of that incest shit. They just care about the snacks. They want to snack down, and then it becomes a big snack club, which then becomes a problem because they're running low on water. So Overseer Betty is now losing control of her vault. She's being pushed to the edge because Reg refuses to concede here. He refuses to just go belly up and give, the snacks back. He even makes a point saying, you can take away the inbreeding support group, but you can't take away the snack budget, and then grabs a handful of Jell-O and eats it. And this goes on for so long. Like, I feel like there were so many scenes of this fucking snack club, and it's just, like, it didn't make me laugh. It was just like, okay, come on, let's get back to, like, the interesting stuff, please. Why are we spending so much time here? The whole idea is it's supposed to show that Betty is losing control of her vault. And I think they could have done that without giving so much screen time to something so fucking insignificant and annoying. And I just think that's the most egregious example. There's other moments where the show does similar things where it like lands on a gag and then just like beats the shit out of it. But anyway, I think like one of the worst writing sins that season 2 makes is the inconsistency around some of its characters. At the end of season 1, we saw the Ghoul take on the Brotherhood of Steel in their power armor without fear, without hesitation. He was just a force of nature fucking clapping them. In season 2, he gets beaten by a rad scorpion. He gets absolutely fucking slapped around, steamrolled by a rad scorpion, which leaves him incapacitated for a long period of time. Like, I'm very confused on like the power scaling. Like, he's sometimes, an absolute menace, unstoppable, and then other times he's just coughing baby and Rad Scorpion comes through and bullies him. It was just kind of frustrating. Like, he is always either extremely powerful when the plot demands it, or inexplicably weak when the plot needs him to be like sidelined for a little while on the bench. And Lucy, I really like Lucy as a character. I think she is the perfect character for a Fallout show, where she is like extremely, ingrained in her morals. She still says fudge instead of fuck, and she really wants to see the best in the people around her. So like in the Rad Scorpion case, the reason that happened is because she took them off course to try and help someone that was crying out for assistance, and it ends with them getting ganked by the Rad Scorpion. And the Ghoul was like, we should just kill them, you shouldn't do this. And then once he goes down, once he, gets the wind taken out of his sails because he's all fucked up from the Rad Scorpion, he then takes the survivor back to where she came, which happens to get her involved with the Legion, which ends with her on a cross dying. And then the Ghoul has to save her. And even after that, she still stands by her morals. I think it's a really cool character trait to see explored in a universe like Fallout, where everyone is in some way a bad guy because they have to be to survive the wasteland. There's no one that's like morally pure or anything, and Lucy's not either. But she tries to be, unlike most people in the show. And I think that's very cool, but because of that, a lot of how Lucy survives is based off of pure fucking luck. So like with the Legion, she survives because the Ghoul came back and rescued her because he still needed her as a bargaining chip. And there are just so many instances of her surviving solely because of luck. Like even at the end of the series, I won't spoil what was going to happen there, but with her father, there was something that was about to happen. Lucy was about to lose, but again, the Ghoul saves her. There are just so many times where she is just saved by sheer dumb luck. Which I think is just a shame because the show has established that she can hold her own. She can do what it takes to survive. And it's not to say that she never does in season 2. She does have a couple of badass moments, but for the most part, a lot of how she gets to where she ends up is just because roll the dice. She got lucky. And I don't know, it just felt kind of like underwhelming after like the third or fourth fucking time that happened this season. Now, that being said, she is not the only character that tries to be a good person. Maximus also does as well. But we can see him making a lot more morally gray decisions, and there's even like a whole swing of things where it seems like he's going in the wrong direction and is no longer that interested in being a good person. And, you know, kind of snaps back into it, but it is nice to see a character like Lucy who's all about, you know, trying to be a good person, and Maximus who wants to be a good person but is also okay just kind of really teetering on the edge. I really do like both of these characters, and I just wish season 2 did more with fleshing them out and evolving them. Maximus, I do think they did a good job with, though, for the season. I enjoyed his plot line quite a bit with the Brotherhood. And it is interesting to see him, you know, start turning heel. And like, he's now doing some bad shit that you wouldn't really expect someone that's wanting to be a good person would indulge in. And even someone close to him is talking about that too. Like, we used to make fun of the Codex, and now here you are quoting it. And he's like, well, you know, maybe it's not so bad after the things I've seen. I think that's a very interesting concept to play with. And it is different from Lucy, who is still, even after everything she's been through and all the times her morals get her in hot water and damn near fucking executed, she stands by them. Maximus, not so much. He's a lot more fluid when it comes to his morals and what he's going to do to try and make the world a better place, leave it better than he found it. I do like these characters. I just don't think season 2 did enough with them to grow them. I liked what season 1 was setting up, and then season 2 I think dropped the ball a bit. And unfortunately, the same is true for House. I think there are moments where they get like the House from the game, but then there's other times where they just make him like cartoonishly evil, like when he just goes to a bar, starts a bar fight, and kills the guys there for some reason for the sake of science. Like, that was just evil for the sake of evil. But then there are other times where like Cooper, these are during the flashbacks, like I said, I think these are the best moments of the show when it comes to writing. Cooper's like talking to House, and then you get to really see House, the way in which I remember him, and what is objectively a more interesting character. One who isn't like fully just like some madman, raving lunatic, evil billionaire guy. He is a bad guy, but a complex character. Like, just as he was in the games, he has a lot of depth, and they show that only in some flashbacks. Like, it seemed like they really wanted to do more with House, but then also felt obligated to make sure you know this is a bad guy and he does bad things. Watch him kill these guys in a bar fight. That type shit. So that, like, just kind of disappointing with some of the things they did, like with House. But as I said, in the flashbacks, that's when the writing is at its best. Like Coop and Barbara's conversations about, you know, what they're going to do about the end of the world and their daughter, and how that changes their thinking and the way in which they want to approach the problems that they face. I think the flashbacks handle all of that very well. It's just when they get outside of flashbacks, it starts to really fall apart. Anyway, though, I don't think Fallout Season 2 was bad. It was still enjoyable. Like, I did enjoy watching it. It wasn't like a slog, and it didn't frustrate me a ton to the point where I didn't want to watch it or anything like that. I did like it. I just didn't like it nearly as much as I liked Season 1. So anyway, that's really about it. So yeah, Yeah, I'm in a bucket hat. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. Now, a buddy of mine just sent me something that I can promise you no one's having fun with except for the people that were paid to promote it. It is called Million Dollar Fan. It is a show which is pitching a $20 million prize pool for what seems to be a load of horseradish. And in case you were wondering, yes, that is an AI mansion on their front page of this contest. At least from everything I can tell, it's an AI-generated mansion. Which immediately should let you know that you're dealing with some high-quality content here. No reason not to trust that. I can't believe anybody would be pitched this and actually think it's legitimate. Like, it takes 3 seconds of looking on their website to smell the poop. It is unbelievably foul. Like, there is no world where this happens. To put in perspective that prize number, $20 million, that is significantly more than Mr. Beast's Amazon show and would make it by far the highest grand prize pool in any kind of like reality game show history, pretty much. All for what I believe to be terrible concept for a show as well, about streamers' fans submitting clips and then I guess going to a mansion or something. I'm still a little confused because the information they offer is just fucking nonsensical. Like, I feel like I have to be on Fint to even begin to process the words that I'm reading and what is supposed to be a contest. So I want to go through this. I want to really get into the weeds here, because this is mind-bogglingly stupid. This is a special kind of scam that I just can't even picture someone falling for. Yet, some streamers have publicly promoted it. I'm assuming they were paid to do so by their talent agency, who was approached by whoever's behind the $1 Million Fan show to do this. So I imagine some people buy into it, which I can't wrap my noodle around that. This is like the Fire Festival of streamer shows, but even more outrageously fucking dumb. They have a streamers section here, and I'm guessing they were all paid to endorse this, and I know in Extra Emily's case, she just had a statement on her stream after her community was letting her know that they believe she had just promoted a scam to them with hawking $1 Million Fan Club. So we'll go over her statement here towards the end of the video. Checking in on the About Us section offers more questions than answers. It's so fucking useless here. You get about as much lore here as you do for the old Urgot League of Legends write-up, where it basically just said Urgot has a dark and mysterious past. So $1 Million Fan is a high-stakes reality television competition built around one simple idea: the fans deserve a seat at the table. Created at the intersection of modern creator culture and large-scale unscripted entertainment, $1 Million Fan brings everyday fans face-to-face with the creators they support, competing together in real-world challenges for life-changing prizes. This is not a meet and greet, and it's not passive fandom. It's participation, pressure, and performance. This feels like it's an AI-generated About Us section. Each season pairs selected fans with major online creators in a fully produced, on-location competition environment. Contestants are tested physically, mentally, and strategically across a series of escalating challenges designed to reward adaptability, teamwork, and resilience. The result is a show that feels authentic, unpredictable, and genuinely earned. $1 Million Fan is produced with the same standards as top-tier television professional crews, rigorous safety protocols, transparent rules, and a clear separation between entertainment and fair competition. No purchase is required to apply or enter. Fan participation pathways are designed to be accessible, compliant, and audience-first. At its core, $1 Million Fan exists to redefine the relationship between creators and their communities. Fans are no longer just viewers, they are competitors. Creators are no longer just personalities, they are teammates. Every moment is rooted in real stakes, real people, and real outcomes. This is reality television built for the internet generation, bigger, bolder, and centered on the people who made creator culture possible in the first place. So who the fuck are you, by the way? This is the About Us section, but you've only told us, like, I guess the elevator pitch on the show. Who is putting this on? Where is the $20 million coming from? Who is the professional television crew here working on this? Like, this is not providing any actual information about the team behind $1 Million Fan. That should immediately raise some red flags that they're not front-facing with who is even putting this on in the first place or where this prize purse is coming from. Their About Us section is fundamentally just like a high schooler that's cramming for a summer reading book report where they're trying to meet the word count. This should immediately be raising red flags and have you asking some questions like, why are they not being more forward with who is behind this? Is it the fucking Rockefellers? Like, whose identity are they protecting? The Elusive Man or something from Mass Effect? Like, where is this coming from? Who is putting this on and who is putting this together? This About Us section is nothing but meaningless fluff gobbledygook that doesn't actually answer anything or provide any real valuable information about this production and who's responsible for it. And then when you go further to their partners section, they have like a couple of brands listed here. Their 3 listed affiliates are Malwarebytes, Hide Me, and then that mystery affiliate in the middle there is StubHub. Have to click on it to find that information out. I was a little nervous that I was about to have my fucking identity stolen or something, clicking on a random image from a sketchy website that links me to something outside of it. And their Proud Partners section actually had me laugh out loud, audibly giggling, not just blowing air out of my nose. I literally laughed a hearty ho 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 like Santa Claus when I saw Livestream Fail is listed as a proud partner of $1 Million Fan. And so I went to the Livestream Fail, and they actually even had a big post announcing this to try and get people to sign up for it. So I guess they're like an official partner of $1 Million Fan. And I was reading the comments from like one of the mods there that was talking about it, and it seems like he's completely fucking clueless on what's even going on in regards to this whole thing. So I don't exactly understand their role in this, or like who's pulling the strings there, the puppet master at LSF that's partnering with $1 Million Fan, but the mods don't even seem to be on the same page there and don't have any real answers. Then going to IRL buffs is like going to a barren wasteland. This whole website is completely empty. It's like Squidward going to that room to be all alone. This feels like it's a prototype that was thrown together in like a handful of minutes just for the sole sake of existing on the $1 Million Show site. I'm pretty sure that's an AI-generated image there as well for their products like Anti-Tilt and Aimbot. Like, this whole thing is extremely sketchy to me. There's like no actual information on this website at all. It is just trash. And then their 3rd listed partner, the VGS Robot Wars or whatever, that doesn't go anywhere. You can click the image, but nothing happens. So when it says coming soon, it literally means coming soon. One of their partners, they're still imagineering right now. They have the concept of a partner, but it doesn't actually exist. This whole thing, I truly don't know how anyone could be pitched this and just say like, oh yeah, I'll put my name on that. Now I ended up making an account, Gilman Tookus. I used 10-minute mail, I set up my account, and it seems like there's a lot of monetization here. So you can buy some emote packs, up to $5.50 worth of creator emote packs, which give you 10 entries into the competition. But they do explicitly make clear numerous times, no purchase is necessary to enter, but kind of nudging you a little bit to maybe make a couple purchases. But you can't legally require a payment. You can't legally require someone to buy something in order to enter into some shit like this. So that's there to cover their own ass in the eyes of the law, but they do very much try and incentivize you to spend money here for the $1 Million Fan show. Going to their official rules, I thought for a brief moment I was going to learn more about the sponsor here, but it's talked so vaguely that it sounds like a Destiny 2 raid boss. The sponsor, $1 Million Fan Reality Show Inc., referred to herein as $1 Million Fan or the sponsor, is a Canadian for-profit corporation operating as a technology and media company that organizes and promotes sweepstakes events. The sponsor operates sweepstakes and skill-based contest experiences and separately provides application review and casting evaluation services. Any producer fees are charged solely for administrative and evaluation services and are not entry fees or consideration for chance. Interestingly, they say the sponsor is a Canadian organization, but the domain, when looking it up on who is registered in Iceland. I don't know, it feels a little odd. It felt peculiar. Maybe that's standard business protocol? Not really sure, but just thought it was something worth mentioning. Now I bet you're scratching at your neck wanting more details on how to enter, and don't worry, they have this section here that's nice and convoluted. So, how to enter. A. TV show spots. The TV show selection will offer 2 different methods of entry with a total of 14 show participation spots available. 1. Sweepstakes entry, random draw, 7 spots. Participants may enter sweepstakes for a chance to win 1 of 7 show participation spots. Sweepstakes entries are available through 2 methods. Paid entry, donation method. Visit the Experience webpage and follow the donation entry process. Each confirmed donation will provide entries into the sweepstakes with the number of entries determined by the amount donated as indicated on the Experience page at the time of donation. Participants may donate multiple times and there's no limit to the number of entries per person. Yippee! Yeehaw, I can keep giving my money for a better chance at being on this imaginary television show. Then there's method 2, free entry, no donation requirement. Participants may also enter sweepstakes without donating. To do so, visit the Experience webpage and follow the free entry alternative method of entry. Each valid submission will count as one free entry into sweepstakes. Free entries are unlimited. Participants will submit free entry by mail, which I'm sure people can't wait to go by mail for their free entry. Then there's also 2, the contest entry. This is judge section, so this is outside of the sweepstakes. In addition to the sweepstakes, 7 show participation spots will be awarded through a skit-based contest. Contest entrants must submit an application and/or participate in the contest process as described in the Experience rules. Winners will be selected by a judging panel based on specific criteria, originality, creativity, skill, or other merit-based factors as outlined in the Experience rules. Contest entries will be judged by a qualified panel chosen by sponsor using the following weighted criteria: creativity 40%, originality 30%, skill or ability demonstrated 20%, overall impression 10%. The 7 highest scoring entrants will be selected as contest winners. In the event of a tie, sponsor reserves the right to conduct a secondary evaluation. Judges' decisions are final and binding. Now, let's assume that you do enter into this. You waive your right to basically everything, which this is standard. I saw some people calling this out as being like really alarming, but I don't think people ever really read terms and conditions. These kind of protection clauses are always baked into contracts these days. Not that I agree with the practice, but this isn't anything super new. This is probably boilerplate shit if I had to guess. So if you read through the entry conditions and release, if you bother to go through and read that, you'll find a lot of legalese that's there to kind of just protect themselves in the event that someone tries to pursue legal action against them. And this is baked into so many terms and conditions these days where companies just throw the kitchen sink in there knowing full well a lot of it's not enforceable, like it's not going to actually stick, but they throw it in there just because why not? They know people aren't going to fucking read it in the first place. And in a lot of cases, it gets overturned. Like, you can't just knowingly scam someone and say, look at the terms and conditions in section 117, you agreed that we could scam you, and if we did, you wouldn't be mad. There'd be no tears and there'd be no legal actions. You agreed, you signed right here by signing up. That doesn't work. So in this case, they're putting these protections in here that read about like how you can't pursue them for any like punitive damages and stuff like that as a way of just trying to protect themselves if in the event that this does end up being a scam, which I do believe that this event will never actually unfold in the way in which it is presented on this website. This whole thing, I think, is just complete fucking hogwash. But this section in particular here wasn't like super surprising to me like it was for a lot of other people. I kind of expected that that would be somewhere in their website as part of the terms of signing up, especially when you consider that the paid entries are non-refundable based on the available information I can find. It seems like those are non-refundable. So this being in there is trying to stop someone, like discourage them from coming after them in the event that this doesn't actually happen. Which, again, if you do get scammed by this, I don't think these terms protect them. I'm not a fucking lawyer, but I don't think it actually would really even do much in that case. Anyway, though, let's move on to the next component of this, which was Extra Emily's response when people were calling it out.
I know it's sus. I know it looks sus, okay? Mythic pitched it to me, and I was like, okay, sounds good, but I just don't want LSF to be part of it. Like, are you kidding me? Like, why is there an LSF person? Like they're like using, and they're saying like, oh, Emily is backing it up, and I'm like, I just posted it because I had to. Like, I had to be like, okay, I need to tell people about it.
Pardon? What do you mean you only posted about it because you had to? You didn't have to. You could have said no to this when they approached you. She makes it sound like it was an obligation she couldn't avoid. You didn't have to accept the deal. And she even talks about how she didn't really look into it or anything, just said sounds good off rip. Why? Why wouldn't you even bother to take a single peep at it? Especially when they're approaching you about a $20 million contest that uses your fans and you as the face of it. That is inconceivable to me. And then she's really surprised that the LSF team or I guess it's just like one person maybe on the LSF mod squad that posted that statement, she's surprised that they're saying she's backing it up. She's like, why would they even think I'm backing it up? Because you are! You are! You promoted it. That is you backing it up. You are on their website. What do you, like, I don't understand why that's not, like, registering.
But then the LSF guy's like, oh yeah, Extra Emily totally, like, backs it. I'm like, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, okay? So I don't know what's happening, but for now, just, like, put this, like, put on the side, okay? So I will get more information on it and then let you guys know. So yeah, but I promise I'm like not trying to scam you guys. I apologize, I didn't do more research beforehand, but I'm gonna have them do more research.
And then she'll keep them updated on all of that. Again, they are saying you're backing it up because you did promote it. You were on their website as one of the streamers that you can go in and be part of the fan sweepstakes for. The images that I put there of like the emote packages on my Gilman Took Us account, I did that through Extra Emily's portal on Million Dollar Fan. So they are saying she's backing it up because she agreed to this promotion. Now, do I believe Extra Emily was intentionally trying to scam her fans for a paycheck here? No. But as she said, she didn't do any research on it. And it doesn't, she's using the word research like this would have been some kind of Herculean undertaking in order to get down into the bare bones of it, the truth of the matter, when it actually would have just taken maybe 4 seconds of just typing in milliondollarfan.show and looking at the website. You are literally greeted with an AI generated mansion. Like, it doesn't take much effort to have been pitched this and been like, all right, let me just check it out real quick before I say yes, and be like, oh, yep, this is fucking nonsense. This is barnacles. Again, I don't think she's a bad person who did this maliciously or anything, but this was so easily avoidable. And she's like surprised LSF is involved. LSF is on their website, proudly presented. Again, if she even just went to their website once, she would have seen that. She would have known. It's very clear she didn't even bother to type in the name of what she was about to endorse, which is why I believe this was probably some kind of paid promotion. I'm assuming Mythic approached her with this Million Dollar Fan Show pitch, as well as like what they're paying for the integration, and she just said yes to it without like a second thought, really. That's my guess. Now, I also want to yap about how surprised I am that her agency, like her management team, Mythic, would even bring this to her in the first place. Like, why they would even serve this up on the plate to the streamers to begin with. I feel like the agency shouldn't have even entertained this Million Dollar Fan Show pipe dream. There is no real information available on anyone even associated with this show that's apparently going to be on television based on their entry rules. It's going to be like a big budget reality TV show program somehow, somewhere with a professional crew, this and that. This is a multi-million-dollar production. Like, based on everything they're talking about in their About Us section, this sounds like this would be like an $80 million like produced show with a $20 million prize pool, which is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. And yet there's no real information available on it. I don't see why Mythic would even take this offer and present it to the streamers with so little available on it. This feels like a very fraudulent show that is now being put out to streamers here as a potential endorsement. So I'm surprised that Mythic even served it to them to begin with. But again, I think it was so easily avoidable for the streamers that are listed here to just like type in that show, like look at it for even a second and be like, yeah, this is fucking garbage. This isn't real. I'm just surprised that it's at this point now where there are potential victims here. There are potential fans of Extra Emily or the Botez sisters or S-Fan or someone that maybe saw this with their name on it and been like, oh, this sounds incredible. $20 million? I'll do a free entry. I'll do a submission here. Well, actually, maybe I'll do a paid entry, get the emote package to support the creators too, and give me some more entries for a better chance of competing in it. And like, it's sad. It's just fucking sad. Because again, I don't think this is real at all. I feel like there's very few people out there that would go to that website and walk away with a positive impression that this is something on the horizon. It doesn't seem feasible at all. Would love to be proven wrong though, I suppose. I guess we'll see. Anyway, I had to yap about this. That's really about it. See ya. Let's do a little role-playing here, a little thespian exercise. You're going to play the judge, and I'm going to be presenting a case to you. It's the case of a university student being caught red-handed with over 100 videos on his phone of him secretly filming women using the toilet. He was even caught in the act filming a woman using the bathroom. And now I present to you this irrefutable evidence where there is no wiggle room for some kind of alternate explanation. There is no way to weasel out of this being him filming these videos without permission, non-consensually, in a private setting, the toilet. Now, I, as the fun-size lawyer, present to you this case. What do you rule? What do you think is punishment that fits that crime? I would wager a guess that if you've got all your marbles about you, you would rightfully say that jail time is in order for a perverted, unremorseful freak like this. Now, what if I told you this drama exercise wasn't all make-believe? This is a case that just unfolded in Australian court, and the judge ruled that the punishment for this individual wasn't jail time. It was a very stern, hands-on-the-hip wiggling of the finger saying, "Now don't do that again."
He secretly filmed women inside toilets and showers, but Barefoot Cow doesn't appreciate the camera being pointed at him.
Mr. Cow, why did you upskirt women?
The Melbourne University biomedicine student, originally from Vietnam, walking from court on a community corrections order.
How peculiar that the guy who was addicted to upskirting women and taking non-consensual videos of them using the bathroom doesn't like to be filmed himself. Well, isn't that just the strangest thing? So this is 23-year-old Bao Cao. He is a biomedical student in Australia, and he was caught with over 100 videos of him secretly filming women in bathrooms. They mention like shower. He was caught in the act of filming a woman using the toilet. That's how they actually apprehended him. She noticed that he was secretly filming her while she was on the toilet. He was apparently holding his phone close to the wall, and she took notice of that, alerted security. They came in there and actually caught him red-handed here. Also, according to a couple articles, this is apparently not even the first time that he's had a run-in with the law for identical issues here. The offender had been sentenced twice before, receiving a community corrections order in July 2025 on the same matter, and May 2025 relating to an incident in October of 2024.
Now is supposed to be in Melbourne studying to become a neurosurgeon. Instead, he's been exposed as a serial pervert. 3-year-old was living at Rooming Cos, a CBD student accommodation in the city. A fellow female student was showering when she noticed someone holding a mobile phone under her cubicle. It belonged to Cow, and he was arrested soon after. Police then discovered hundreds of secret images and videos of young women. There could be up to 150 alleged victims.
This is from a couple months ago with a previous run-in he had with authorities here, and surprise, surprise, the strategy of doing nothing and hoping that the bad guy stops being a bad guy didn't exactly work. In this case, where again he was caught, even arrested, and even pled guilty, he still didn't receive a conviction. No punishment. He had to take like a sex offender course or something. He had to do like a tutorial on how not to be a sexual degenerate pervert scumbag loser fucking vile worm.
Cow pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to a community corrections order and forced to undergo a sex offender treatment program. No conviction was recorded.
It also means that if he does go on to become a doctor or a surgeon, his patients are not going to know what he's been up to and what he could potentially get up to.
He should get kicked out by the campus.
Not only should he be kicked out, that should have been like a day one, like snap of the fingers, like instant reaction to all of these crimes that he has literally pled guilty to, caught in the act multiple times. They should have instantly caught him, or kicked him out for the safety of the students, and then throw him in jail. These are serious offenses. And as that lady mentioned, if he goes on to become a doctor, which it seems like he is perfectly within his ability to do so, since there are no consequences for his crimes that he has committed, his patients would then be in danger too. Imagine him around an unconscious woman that he is supposed to be like operating on or something. It's a recipe for disaster. It's fucking terrifying.
A few months ago, Cow was arrested again after filming a woman inside the public toilets here at the District Docklands shopping centre. He confessed and pleaded guilty. Again, no conviction was recorded.
How many women have to be subjected to a perpetrator of this type of crime, and he literally gets away with it? How safe are the female students at that university right now?
That's a great question. How safe are these women? How many women need to be subjected to this perpetrator who keeps getting away with it and is getting sent a very clear message from the justice system over there in Australia that he can just keep doing it to his heart's content till the cows come home? Why don't we ask the judge, Michelle, who is the one that was presiding over the case that was mentioned there about how he was caught filming in that toilet. That's the one that we've been watching prior to this older one. He is done and has been caught multiple times doing this exact same thing, and yet still not being punished.
Mr. Cowan, do you still plan on becoming a doctor? Mr. Cowan, do you plan on apologising to your victims?
Police found over 100 secretly recorded videos and images of innocent women on the 23-year-old's phone, taken inside public bathrooms at Docklands District Shopping Centre and at his student accommodation in the city.
Yeah, he can still pursue being a doctor. He's not getting any actual punishment, no consequences, even though he is very clearly guilty of these crimes for which he is accused. They have overwhelming evidence, and it's not even a matter of if he did it. They know he did. They just don't care. I guess the judge that was presiding over the case just hit him with a yawn. So what? He had over 100 videos secretly recording women in bathrooms? Big whoop! I got the fucking courthouse shitter bugged right now! Sue me! What a despicable outcome to this case. To me, it reads like they don't take sexual crimes seriously. That's what it feels like. It's unbelievable that they know he did this. They just don't want to punish him. So now this disgusting freak gets away with it. Not even a slap on the wrist, still gets to be a doctor down the line, and doesn't go to jail or face any repercussions for it. He has a 12-month period where he can't reoffend. That's all.
But despite his guilty pleas, the court let him off without a conviction. Explaining his actions, he told police he was in the female toilets because he wasn't sure about his gender.
Are you still unsure of your gender?
Now, in all the articles I've read relating to this case, I've only seen this claim from 7 News Australia. I'm not familiar with the organization, but according to them, when police were questioning Mr. Cow as to his reason for being in the women's restroom doing this, he panicked and spit out a bunch of horseradish that he's actually in there because he's unsure on his gender. However, according to a different news organization, what he said when confronted by authorities after being caught in the cubicle secretly filming that woman is that he was gay. He told the police that the reason he was in the women's restroom is because he was gay.
Reaching into her cubicle, she ran and told security, and when he was confronted, Cal said he was gay. That's why he was using the female bathrooms. When police seized Bao Cal's phone, they found more than 100 different videos, but only one victim was identified. The rest remain unknown. It's not the first time Cow has been shown mercy by the courts. In May last year, he avoided conviction after he was caught upskirting a woman, and in July, he avoided conviction again for near identical offending.
It actually is crazy how he continues to just get away with it with no punishments, because it's not like he and his legal team are going in there like he's got fucking Saul Goodman in his corner and they're in there outsmarting them in the legal system, giving like some kind of crazy legal smackdown proving his innocence. They literally march in there and just say, yep, he's guilty. This guy, he did it. Everything you've accused him of, he did do it. Okay, are we done here? Can we all go ahead and leave now? I'm getting kind of hungry, and he's got to go secretly film other women in other bathrooms. So, are we done here? No convictions, right? No convictions? All right, great. Really appreciate it. Big thumbs up. We're going to go ahead and leave now. He just continues to get away with it, even knowing that he is guilty. Everyone knows it. They just don't want to punish him. It's fucking crazy. Now, in the case of what he said to officers at the scene, 7 News Australia claims that he told them he was unsure of his gender, and then 9 News claims that he said he was gay. Either way, this clearly seems like a desperate, like, Hail Mary attempt to avoid going to jail, like, no, you guys have got it all twisted. I'm not in the women's bathroom because I'm a pervert. I'm here because I'm gay. And it's like, okay, that doesn't do anything. What you were doing is still highly illegal. You are caught filming women using the bathroom, and you were caught with over 100 other videos of secretly filming these women, non-consensually. It's a sexual crime. It doesn't matter if he's unsure of his gender or if he's gay or anything like that. Which, by the way, is something he didn't say in his previous run-ins with the authorities for similar crimes that he has been guilty of. So it really seems like it's just something he pulled out of his ass desperately when confronted by the police after getting caught red-handed again. Now, from what I can see from court, this never got brought up. So to me, it seems like his defense found it to be a pretty weak position to try and argue, because him secretly filming videos of women using the toilet, upskirting, about to use the shower in a fucking intimate setting like the bathroom where he's non-consensually filming them, is still illegal in every single possible context. So like I said, I haven't been able to find any information on if that was ever even brought up in court or not. It doesn't seem like it was. It sounds like he must have been like really trying to avoid getting arrested again, so then he tried saying like, I'm unsure about my gender, thus I had to be in the women's restroom filming these women non-consensually, collecting data here on my phone with these videos. Like, it sounds like that was something he just tried with the police that were about to arrest him, and not something that they actually tried as like a legal strategy, though I don't know, because not all of the information on this case is public. All we have is the judge's final verdict, where she cites things not related to that, but instead that he's young and also might be lonely. That was her reasoning for no punishment for a serial pervert who has committed numerous crimes.
The court today heard one of his traumatised victims remains anxious and, unsurprisingly, hypervigilant, the incident impacting her ability to use public restrooms.
In her sentencing, the magistrate said Mr. Cow has no family here and considers him to be isolated in the community. She also said the 23-year-old's youth needed to be taken into account.
Bro, this judge can suck a fart out of my butthole. What are you talking about? What does that have to do with this case at all? He's 23 years old. Do you think he doesn't know the difference between consensual filming and non-consensual filming? This is a sexual crime. He is using the women's restroom for the sole purpose of filming them use the bathroom, and apparently upskirting women. And apparently, according to some of the articles, was secretly filming women who were about to use the shower. Like, this is not a matter of like, he didn't know any better. How could he have possibly known? He's alone in our community. What are you talking about? There's plenty of people in the world that are alone right now that don't do this degenerate, disgusting, criminal shit. And the message that the court is sending to the victims here is just gross. Literally giving the victims one of these right here. That's the gift from the judge in this case. Over 100 videos of victims that, again, they know the guy is guilty. They know that. They even say as much. And then they just don't do anything about it. They let him get away with it. It's not even like the like illusion of a punishment. They don't even try and pretend like they're punishing him. They're even just trying to garner sympathy for the guy, saying like, oh, well, he's alone, and well, he's only 23 years old, so we have to make sure we take that into account. So I think what makes sense here is that 12 months, just don't do it again, and we're good here. Then all is squared. The victims got no justice. So, like, they read an impact statement from one of the women who was filmed by Cow here, and she's talking about, like, how it actually really dramatized her. And I imagine many others probably would feel the same if they found out that when they were using the bathroom, there was some secret fucking evil weirdo in the stall next to them filming them the whole time in order to jerk off to it. Like, I'm sure many people would feel extremely upset and uncomfortable by something like that. And then, on top of that, after they catch the person responsible, they get away with it. And not only do they get away with it, they try and play like a sad song on the world's smallest violin for the guy, not for the victims. They don't do anything for the victims to try and get them justice or anything. It's no compassion for the victims of a sexual crime. Blows my mind here. And the judge, Michelle, even had the gall to say, like, the women deserve to feel safe in this kind of area, you know, an intimate spot like the bathroom. Which is why I'm ensuring that this guy does not go to jail and does not get punished. We'll have a 12-month period where we ask him to maybe just stop, pump the brakes on that filming women secretly in the restroom business. That ought to make all these victims feel better and feel safe again. It's crazy, man. It blows my mind. Judge Michelle really dropped the ball on this one. I think there needs to be a follow-up investigation here, but that's... Maybe I'm on the crack pipe. I just feel like justice wasn't exactly served. No convictions, even though this is not the first time he has faced this. He continues to have a 100% win rate here, and even just, all he does is just plead guilty, and they just refuse to punish him. It's not like he's going in there and outsmarting them or something, or proving his innocence or anything like that. He just goes in there and just like, yeah, I did it. Okay, can I go now? Are we done here? Like, oh yeah, we're done. No conviction. Don't worry about any of that pesky nuisance stuff. Don't worry. Go about your day. Keep studying. Can't wait to see you as a neurologist out there and all that stuff. It's mind-boggling. It really is crazy. I had to yap about this when I learned about it. That's really about it. So yeah. So I saw a headline earlier today and I immediately wrote it off as just being a joke. I assumed that it came from like Ballsack Sports or something, that they just sacked me, and I wasn't going to fall for it. It was GameStop attempting to buy eBay. So I saw that earlier, I was like, fiddlesticks. Not clicking on that, not falling for that baloney. But now, I've seen that it's actually real. Apparently GameStop is tinkering around with the notion of making an offer to buy eBay. GameStop, yeah, that GameStop that you probably haven't stepped foot in fucking 10 years, covered in cobwebs and Funko Pops. That GameStop, that entity, is looking to try and make an offer to buy eBay. And just looking at the cold hard numbers here, eBay is over 4 times larger than GameStop. eBay could literally little bro GameStop, just putting their hand on their forehead as they do this. Like, it's not even close. It's like a very interesting notion here. And I understand the way that businesses can be structured and the way that these kind of offers can be made is a little bit different. So sometimes smaller entities can make offers to purchase larger ones. Usually that incurs some level of debt and a heavy load bearing, but like there are wacky ways of working it. But I don't see why you'd ever do that. Like, if eBay's fielding those kind of offers seriously, man, I'll fucking throw my hat in there. I'll give them $20 or something, I guess. Like, I'll start playing around with it. Like, this is... GameStop trying to buy eBay is like if my local fucking record store decided, you know what? We'll throw a hat in the ring as well. It's just so odd. But the more I look into it, the more I see that they are serious about this, at least based on what's reported at the moment. Now, their CEO, Ryan Cohen, aka the Crusader of Cringe, he has a genius idea to try and increase GameStop's market value more than tenfold by trying to sweep in here and really butter them up and buy them out. Shares of eBay have a market cap of about $46 billion and actually soared 14% in extended trading after all this. GameStop gained 4% and they have a market value of nearly $12 billion. eBay fucking mogs GameStop. It's not even close. They Gangnam Style on that ass. And GameStop is just a joke of a company. They are literally only around because they had the meme stock pump, the legendary, biblical, historic GME meme stock pump. Hats off to deep fucking value there, because otherwise they would already be buried in the dirt. And no one goes to GameStop except for TCG product now, because all these fucking parasitic scalpers, these brain-rotted fucking worms, infiltrate everything like a plague that even smells like there might be Pokemon there. So GameStop does get some people in the door for that, but outside of it, they haven't been able to actually do anything to save the business. No one's buying games there. They get terrible deals when it comes to trade-ins and shit. Basically, everything a business could do, GameStop does poorly, so most people don't shop there, and they haven't for a very long time. They've tried to just diarrhea blast everything into GameStop to try and get people through the door. So far, TCG is the only thing that's worked, but they tried with Funko Pops and like collectibles and figurines and stuff, but no one's shopping at GameStop, and they're certainly not going there for games. And you bet your sweet pippy ain't no one trading shit in at GameStop, because that's worthless. You could literally walk through their door with the Ark of the Covenant and they'd give you $12 in store credit for it. It's just a joke. Like, everything about GameStop is just a full-blown meme. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the offer they're making to eBay is like $5 billion, but $30 billion in store credit. Come on, you ready to sign? Now, according to the reporting, GameStop has quietly been building a stake in eBay's shares ahead of this offer, and Apparently, if eBay is not receptive, Ryan is going to take the offer directly to the company's shareholders. Obviously, all the details aren't publicly known yet, but this article does make a mention that this is kind of a rare maneuver here. For a public company to target one nearly 4 times its size, deals such as this rely on heavy debt, stock insurance, or both, banking on future earnings of the combined company to justify the cost. Now, from eBay's perspective, this sounds like a brain-dead idea, because there is nothing GameStop brings to this deal that helps improve eBay in any way. Everything GameStop touches is turning to ass. They've got the cheese touch. They have the mid-ass touch, which is something I've said before. Literally, they are an example of how not to run a business. They have been in a spiral for so long and are only kept alive because of a meme. Like, they are not doing well. TCG has been the only thing that's been any level of successful for them, and it's just because TCGs in general have blown up fucking everywhere across the board. It's been just full-blown hysteria. And GameStop, I personally believe the reason they're making this move and targeting eBay specifically is because eBay is a place where a lot of these scalpers do the majority of their deals. They do a lot of buying and selling through eBay for their product. And eBay also owns TCG Player, which is one of the biggest places online to buy TCG product. So because TCGs are blowing up and GameStop has already dipped their tiny little balls in there, they see this as a good opportunity as like this, trend that they need to hop on now. And I imagine that's probably something they're pitching them on potentially. But GameStop does nothing to improve eBay's position in that industry at all. And in fact, it only serves as an anchor because GameStop itself is a poisonous brand. There is already a built-in distrust and dislike of GameStop because everyone has their own personalist story of how they got burnt on a trade-in deal, or the prices that they paid were actually a ripoff, that kind of thing. So it's just kind of silly. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen because businesses make awful decisions all the time. Look at fucking Ubisoft. But I personally just don't understand why eBay would even entertain this notion, especially considering there's no way GameStop has the meat to even bring them cash, like a cash deal that would entice them. Because they are not nearly to eBay's size. So I don't know how they'd even begin to structure this that doesn't incur heavy debt. Now, this article brought to light something that I was unaware of, and it's some really interesting food for thought. Should have you scratching at the hair on your chinny chin chin that might serve as a nice little explanation for where this bold and drastic idea comes from. Well, Ryan Cohen actually has a compensation package to the tune of $35 billion, hinging on a turnaround that requires him to lift the company's market value to $100 billion and hit $10 billion in cumulative performance EBITDA. That was revealed in January, so not that long ago. $35 billion bonus on the docket here if he can somehow turn this failing business into a juggernaut. Right now, they're kind of pitching this as a team effort to make it a juggernaut, and wouldn't you know it, if eBay accepts this deal, this might just send Ryan Cohen over that threshold, hitting the mark that he needs in order to unlock that $35 billion compensation package. How fortuitous for Ryan. And let's just be honest here, who's more deserving than Ryan? Ryan deserves to be happy, and he's only a billionaire. That's not enough. We need to make sure he can get a bigger win than that, and that helps all of us. Because when Ryan's happy, everyone's happy. So yeah, this is not a joke here. It seems like this is something that is actively being pursued with GameStop trying to acquire eBay, which I think is a fucking recipe for disaster. GameStop is a joke. It is terrible. They just had their first profitable year since 2019, but that's not the result of any kind of like genius changes and like a big overhaul of the entire business model that makes it better. They achieved profitability mainly through aggressive cost cutting and exiting and closing. So like they just saved doubloons on the bottom line, which they needed to do because GameStop is bloated. It is in the shitter, so that did need to happen. But it's not like there was anything that was actually a very positive change to GameStop that's great or leads me to believe that they'd be able to make eBay better and everything eBay owns better, I think they would only drag them further down. eBay is not a perfect company by any means. They've done a lot of shady shit as well and some bad decisions too, but it's not like GameStop is going to go ahead and go in there and make it fucking sunshine and rainbows over there or something. I just think they would be terrible. Like, I genuinely think it would just be much worse. Anyway, just wanted to yap about this because I saw the headline earlier, thought it was fake. Turns out, not fake at all. That's really about it. So yeah. There's useless, and then there's Pam Bondi. Cockroaches have more respect from people than Scam Bondi ever will. She's just been fired. Hallelujah, time to butt chug some brewskis in the bathtub tonight to celebrate this wonderful news. Pam Bondi famously shut down the conversation about Epstein, stating that we need to focus on the Dow because it's over 50K, stating that it's ridiculous to be talking about Epstein when the Dow's over 50K. That's what we need to focus on. And now look at us, Pam. Who could have seen this? Dow's under 50K and she lost her whole job. Ain't that some shit, huh? Man, when it rains, it pours. Pam Bondi's time as Attorney General will be looked back on with embarrassment and shame. They won't be hanging her jersey number in the rafters, celebrating her time in this position. She was fucking useless. More useless than my goofy areolas. There has never been anyone in the history of this country worse at their job than Pam Bondi. And I don't just mean from a government position, I mean across the entire spectrum of jobs that exists, there has never been a single soul that is more terrible at their job than Pam Bondi was as Attorney General. You could have given Attorney General to a fucking crackhead who's never lucid, and he probably would have accidentally stumbled into doing a couple of things. She did nothing. Literally nothing. She accomplished less than a gas station toilet, yet she probably swallowed more shit than a toilet. And she did so proudly, without an ounce of shame or regret. It's so pathetic. I don't know how she sleeps at night. And apparently she even had the gall to like grovel and beg to not be fired because this means everything to her. She doesn't do anything. All she does is just lie and idly collect a paycheck while delivering lip service that is constantly contradictory and debasing herself in front of the entire nation with a chin held high. It is the most pathetic shit imaginable.
Good day. We are coming on the air with breaking news. President Trump has apparently fired his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, according to a senior administration official and a source familiar with the matter. This comes after NBC News learned that the president has grown frustrated with his Attorney General in recent days, according to multiple sources.
This is a blow because she has been a very loyal sort of friend and ally of the president for a long time, going back to Florida.
I love how the reporter struggled to find the words to adequately describe her relationship with Trump, because friend and ally, loyal, that doesn't even really encapsulate it. She was a leech, an actual parasite, a fucking hemorrhoid, a pinworm, living deep inside the asshole of President Trump, more than willing to just suck the farts straight out of his butt. Like that, she was so deep in there, and I know she never thought that she would be thrown under the bus because of this level of NPC behavior from her. She was a full-blown drone. I don't think she has had an actual thought of her own in years, because she is just on cruise control, idly just going through the motions and delivering speeches and just constantly lying about the Epstein files being on her desk, by the way, which they're probably still there. She's just got to go in there and dust it off when she's collecting her things and leaving the office forever. And now that she has been thrown under the bus here, I have to imagine she's just sitting there fucking drooling blankly like the parents from Weapons after the spell gets broken on them. Pam's probably just stunned, catatonic in like a fucking fugue state, not sure what to do with herself. She threw everything away. Literally became a complete clown in front of the entire world, and now it didn't pay off. She wasn't able to just endlessly coast off being this bot.
assisting in the first Trump term. And this, in many ways, comes down to a representation of the frustration that President Trump has, that his vision for how he could exact retribution against political rivals and those who had, in his perception, done him wrong at some past point, to be brought to justice. That has not happened, even though this Department of Justice under Pam Bondi has attempted to do so in a number of areas where we've seen the failed attempts to prosecute James Comey or Letitia James.
Failure really is the only word that can appropriately describe Pam Bondi's entire career. Everything she has ever attempted to do here during her time as Attorney General has been a complete and utter failure. And now, the person that she was huffing farts like they were oxygen is throwing her to the side. Like, Woody, I no longer want to play with you. And now what, Pam? And now what?
Then there's the broader issue of the Epstein files. There was a moment where Pam Bondi, who in the journey of her time as Attorney General has been both loyal but has also committed some self-inflicted errors. She talked about having the so-called Epstein list on her desk, and that never materialized. She had led people to believe there would be more coming on Epstein, and then initially last summer, the Department of Justice said the files would be closed. There was no action to be taken.
And we're still currently in that circus whirlwind. Pam Bondi will always be mocked and looked at as the clown that she is. That being said, better late than never. I'm glad she is finally fired. That is wonderful news. Yes, it should have happened sooner, but it's still good that it's here now. Though I don't think her replacement is going to be a huge improvement. It's Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche is someone I've already shot spitballs at because this guy openly just talks about how there most likely will never be a further Epstein investigation into the clients. He also famously had that wonderful little segment where he said it's not a crime to party with Epstein.
Is there any chance that any of these individuals who partied with Epstein and engaged in relations with minors will be prosecuted?
Well,
Any chance?
I'll never say no, and we will always investigate any evidence of misconduct. But as you know, it is not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein, and so as horrible as it's not a crime to email with Mr. Epstein. And some of these men may have done horrible things, and if we have evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But it's also the kind of thing that the American people need to understand, that it isn't a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. It isn't a crime to have
Didn't look like that's all that was going on some of those photos. I mean, if the photos could speak, some of them look pretty bad.
That's right. And unfortunately, photos can't speak. And so we need witnesses and we need
Are there
evidence
videotapes that you all have? Or?
For the millionth time, yes, there are videos. Also, Todd Blanche mentions the witnesses and stuff, but they don't really seem to want to talk to the victims overly often. That seems to be an area they're not super gung-ho about gathering information from the potential victims that have come forward. Todd Blanche is not someone I put a lot of faith in doing a better job as Attorney General, but I will say it would be hard for him to do a worse job than Pam Bondi. And he is not shy about just letting you know that they don't really plan on doing a whole lot with the Epstein case. There's another clip that he has become infamous for where he pretended he didn't understand the question when asked about, like, the abusers in the Epstein files, that kind of thing. So Todd Blanche, not exactly looking like a superstar to really start pumping your fist about, but doesn't mean we can't celebrate Pam Bondi being fired. But anyway, just wanted to yap about this and say, bye Pam, enjoy retirement. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya. Alright, man, this new tactic that they're pulling out for the Epstein files that they're really digging in deep in the John Madden playbook for is unbelievably ridiculous, even by the standards the circus has already set. This is like if I pissed on your head, but didn't even try and call it rain, I just called it piss. I just say, hey Buster, I'm urinating on you. And you're just supposed to, like, thank me for it. Last night there was a big bombshell breaking. All Epstein files released. Pam Bondi announces DOJ has released all Epstein files under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, including justified redactions and a list of high-profile names appearing in these documents. When I saw that fresh little nugget drop there, I actually thought that there was a huge Epstein file dump where they actually did unredact everything. Maybe Pam Bondi getting biblically smacked down at that hearing the other day and embarrassing herself actually did lead to these files coming out, the remainder of them. But it turns out that's just a fucking lie. That's just a big-time, full-blown fib. And of course, it was a speed run to Community Noted as people went to check, only to learn there are no new files. What's being referred to here are the same files that came out a few weeks ago, the 3.5 million files from a couple weeks ago. And now the new thing here is, I guess after Pam Bondi got fucking farmed on Rust by anyone with even a single semblance of a brain at that hearing, she huffed and puffed and then farted out a giant list of names from anyone that was even mentioned anywhere, which includes people like Janis Joplin, who died when Epstein was 17. So this has naturally been called out by a lot of people saying, to have Janis Joplin, who died when Epstein was 17, in the same list as Larry Nassar, who went to prison for the sexual abuse of hundreds of young women and child pornography, with no clarification of how either was mentioned in the files, is absurd, which it is. It's done on purpose with the sole intent of confusing and muddying everything here. They combined the actual, real, evil child sex trafficking clients with just random people's names who appeared in emails like Janis Joplin. This is ridiculous, and it's just blatantly corrupt right in your face. There is no new files here. That is just a lie. Yet for some reason, it's being peddled by tons of people as if it's real. I guess they all got the call, so Alex Jones here preaching about how Pam Bondi just unleashed the full Epstein files. She dropped her trousers and took a shit on this whole narrative that the Epstein files implicate anyone in this administration. In fact, it backfired bigly on the left, on powerful Dems like Bill Clinton. And others busted, while fake smears against Trump are bullshit. Vindication for Trump. It's crazy how Alex Jones, for years, was talking about this elite pedophile ring that was raping and torturing and killing children, and now he is finally proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be right. He was completely correct on that, and now he has to pussyfoot around the subject, just tiptoeing, walking on eggshells because some of his friends are in there. Dude went from secretly filming Bohemian Grove to being best buddies with its members. So now, we all know that this is correct. Alex Jones could have taken a victory lap on this shit, but instead he's been preoccupied with 6'7" Labubu and whatever other dog shit that is, and anytime he mentions the Epstein files, he has to do so with Trump's cock in his throat about it. He only focuses on the most easy, low-hanging fruit of the Epstein files like Bill Clinton. Alex Jones explores the Epstein files like this, with his hands over his eyes, really scared, making sure to put on the blinders so he could block out all of his friends' names, so he can laser focus on easy shit like Bill Clinton, who everybody knows is guilty in all of this. Real groundbreaking stuff, goober. It's incredible what a paid shill this guy is. And I just saw he's doing like a press tour about how all of this is the result of Trump, by the way. He went in there and said, you gotta release this now. It's time we fucking release everything unredacted. No more, softball in it. As if Trump was the reason this happened. Even after, for a whole year, Trump has been saying it's a hoax. It's not real. Move on, move on, move on. We gotta stop caring about this Epstein stuff. Does anyone still care about this? No one in America cares about this. Yeah, Alex, I'm sure Trump is the one that went in there and really strong-armed the release of anything. And again, Alex Jones is saying all the files are released now. That is just provably false. That is not true. There are no new files that Pam Bondi just released, Alex. It should be obvious to anyone paying attention, or even just a smidgen of attention. You don't even have to, have your eyes glued to it or anything. Even just glancing should be pretty clear, painting an obvious picture that the powers that be are using Alex Jones as a very convenient mouthpiece to regurgitate their shit and defend them, and do a lot of sweeping for them. We are in an era where you have this information at your fingertips, and they are telling you, disregard what your eyes can see and listen to us and nothing else. It's so fucking scary, because people are willingly doing it. You can check yourself to see if there are new files that dropped, and it only takes a couple of seconds to get the real answer. No new files have dropped. You can find the truth yourself, and it takes seconds. And they know that, so they're relying on you just being too lazy and too blind and too much of a sheep, so they can just feed you things and have you believe them without bothering to check. So they can just lie and say that Pam Bondi just unleashed the nuke on Epstein. All of it's right there, and it's only Democrats. Look at that. Backfired bigly. And you won't bother to check it yourself. It's craziness, and it sucks that it works so well. If you do bother to do any amount of actual research on the Epstein files, you'll find it's more than just Democrats. It's Democrats and it's Republicans. It's a ton of the world's most powerful people that have engaged in some of the most unthinkable, evil actions imaginable. And these monsters, these fucking worms, treat it like a joke. CoffeeZilla just made a video on it. Howard Lutnick in particular, he's always busting a gut laughing anytime Epstein's even brought up.
I am increasingly disgusted by the way this is all a big joke to liars like Howard Lutnick, who deceive the American public about the status of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
That guy was there. I wasn't going.
Now he testifies under oath that he actually went to the island of the creep and brought his kids.
We had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children.
Nevertheless, every time Epstein is brought up, this guy can't stop chuckling. Here's Lutnick laughing again when Trump is addressing a question about Epstein.
To talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
I don't know. I could ask you that question.
He thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. And maybe it's because they really think we are buying it. Maybe it's because they think, hey, we're just going to get away with this. We can just keep, the lies are so brazen.
They are literally laughing in your face about it. They know they're getting away with it. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. It's just so brazen, like CoffeeZilla said. And then you have people like Alex Jones that are just parroting that same shit like, oh, everyone's absolved except for the people we don't like. And also, by the way, even if it was only the people you don't like that are implicated here and guilty, why aren't they being arrested? Ask yourself that question. Why aren't the people like Bill Clinton being arrested? Why is nobody getting arrested for the Epstein files? I know I've already said this, but even if the only people that were guilty in here are the people you personally don't like, why wouldn't Trump and this administration be going fucking full throttle, whole hog at them, trying to throw them in the slammer? Food for thought, I suppose. Perhaps it's because they know if they went down, it would put them at risk too, because it's not just the people you don't like. You are just so focused on the ones you don't like that you'll block out all of the other shit. You will not use your own fucking brain. Now, another big thing that's come out that it seems like a lot of mainstream media and a lot of Twitter personalities refuse to speak on is Epstein's potential ties to Israel. It's very weird. Yet no one really seems to want to talk about that connection. Why is that? I just find it odd how you have so many Twitter patriots and mainstream outlets that just outright ignore this potential connection of Epstein and Israel. And Israel is a very important subject in American politics, it seems. Politicians can't stop praising them, glazing them, and Trump in particular, his mouth has become a glory hole for Netanyahu. So don't you think it would be something worth talking about and investigating if there is potentially a tie between Epstein and Israel? I mean, I feel like that would be something that a lot of people would want to know more information about to find out if it's true or not or what's going on there. Because again, every politician in this country, this administration, and even previous administrations love to bend over for Israel.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. And I've worked every day to do that.
We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel and bring home Israelis and make sure we stand by our number one ally in Israel.
That's right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel. Defense of Israel.
What is number one?
I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. Because that's fundamental to fundamental.
Miriam Adelson is amazing. What she has done for Israel, for our country, and for this world is second to none. Thank you, my friend. The sad truth is, for way too long, anti-Semitism has been allowed to grow unchecked in this country. Too many institutions have abdicated their moral responsibility to speak up.
There's an additional 100 clips I probably could have pulled, but these were the ones that were top of mind, and I think it's pretty clear that Israel is an extremely important subject to the powerful politicians in this country. Fucking Ted Cruz goes as far as to say it's the sole reason he got into politics is to defend them. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I don't know how that's not treasonous. He is a representative in our country who is openly stating that his priorities are a foreign entity. Whatever, I guess. I suppose that's fine by today's standards. I don't really get how. And boy howdy, isn't that Nancy Pelosi statement quite the eye-opener. Even if everything crumbles over here, we will still find a way to honor our aid to Israel. We'll start botting in RuneScape if that's what it takes to make enough money to send it to Israel. Damn everything else here, that's the most important part. Pretty crazy shit, I would think. I feel like maybe I'm on the crack pipe here, but that should be a little concerning that the politicians that are supposed to be representing this country seem much more focused on the interests of another. But anyway, my point is, with the release of all of these Epstein files, even though hundreds of the files are just completely worthless garbage that are fully fucking redacted, just nothings, there is still a lot that remains that showcases a potential connection of Epstein and Israel. Now, of course, nothing's confirmed or anything, but shouldn't that at least warrant some kind of investigation, at least some kind of poking around? This administration is very blunt about how little they care about the Epstein files. They literally say that. Trump always talks about how no one should care about this and move on. And also, they're very open about, we're probably not going to look to investigate anything. There's nothing actionable in there. Whoops-a-daisy. Can't do anything about it. Sorry. And, of course, Perjury Patel just continues to lie about it. But anyone that actually takes a peek at it should at least find it odd that a lot of these outlets, like journalist outlets, a lot of politicians, and a lot of the paid shills online are not talking about the Epstein-Israel connection in any capacity whatsoever. And when they do talk about Epstein as a potential spy, they always make a mention of CIA, or, maybe not being a CIA spy, but never going as far as to talk about a potential connection to Israel. That should be very weird. Why is that something no one would talk about when Israel is such a huge piece of this country, apparently? Why wouldn't that be something that would be more discussed by the mainstream? It's all so blatantly corrupt. Anyway, just wanted to yap about this latest lie. That's really about it. See ya. Well, look what the cat dragged in. AI! It is some more wacky news in the world of artificial intelligence as all facets of our entertainment is consumed by the slop. An AI music homunculus just signed a $3 million record deal after one of their tracks charted on Billboard. Talisha Jones is the flesh, blood, and cringe behind her AI character Zanaya Monet, and she used the very common AI tool Suno, which just spits out tracks based on whatever prompts you put in there. Pretty, standard stuff. And one of them happened to chart on Billboard because we've reached this point now where people are just wiggling their finger to AI music proudly. And now she's 3 million clams richer for typing in a few sentences onto Suno thanks to this deal with Neil Jacobson's Hallwood Media. I don't know what Hallwood Media is, but that is a fucking circus now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be fucking drowning in Rotten Tomatoes for this trash. Actually, how stupid do you have to be to pay $3 million for something like this? You can just generate Zanaya Monet songs yourself. What are you even spending the money on here? It's not like Talisha Jones did anything creative or new or innovative. She just typed in prompts to Suno, which is a tool available to literally every single person on the planet. Even me, a silly, stupid goober here, was able to generate trash songs on Suno. Anybody can. I generated songs about cock out the wazoo, and it took seconds. Why are you paying $3 million for someone to do that for you? You can just do that. You can even have an intern do that if you're just so addicted to the idea of pumping out AI-generated songs to try and chart on Billboard like this. This is the biggest waste of $3 million imaginable. Shit, you can even AI-generate Zanaya Monet 2.0. It's not like she actually exists, and it's not like Talisha Jones owns Zanaya Monet. It is AI. There's already a precedent set that it's not copyrightable in the first place. You can literally just make your own Zanaya Monet if you wanted to. How stupid are the people at Hallwood Media? Holy shit. And while Zanaya is the most successful AI homunculus, she's far from the only one. In fact, apparently the emerging artist chart has actually become infested with this. It's an invasion of AI music homunculi. Zanaya is the most successful with that multi-million-dollar contract that Talisha Jones gets to just rake in the doubloons for, which kind of shows the music industry's whole asshole here with the direction they want to push it. The reason so many of these AI homunculi are starting to chart and everything is because now they are being actively pushed because there is nothing that can match the speed at which they can fart out music. Where, in this case, with Zanaya Monet, apparently the process is Talisha Jones comes up with a theme and then just has Suno run wild with it. Apparently she's contributed a couple of lyrics here and there from what I read, but it's mainly just Talisha Jones thinks of a theme, feeds it to Suno, and in seconds it spits out a track. And then just rinse and repeat this. You can pump out 40 tracks in like an hour and a half, and you don't even need to have your brain on for it. There is no human being on the planet that can match that. And in the current day and age where people just want instant gratification, just stimulus, any kind of stimulus at all, it doesn't matter to them. This is exactly what the record industry wants because it is basically free. It is extremely cheap to just have all of these being shit out all the time, and people will listen to it. Like, they will happily listen to just AI tracks because they just want something on. Doesn't matter what, doesn't matter where it came from, as long as it sounds like music, they're happy campers, it seems. So, this AI homunculus push in the music industry is great for the upper echelon vampires of the industry, where now they can just funnel some resources into just shitting out AI Suno tracks and it will chart on Billboard. It's fucking crazy. It is so sad how quickly this is all just going straight into the dumpster. I legitimately think we're getting pretty close to the point where music industry is going to just stop hiring human beings altogether, because what's the point anymore? If people don't care if it's like actual art or anything, if they just want the noise, well, AI is significantly cheaper and significantly faster. If you have a human being signed to your label, it's significantly more expensive. There's significantly more human beings you have to hire to help work on it, audio engineers, stuff like that. It takes a lot longer to produce like an album, whereas here, it's a couple $100 for a subscription to Suno, and that's it. And then you have endless albums that you're able to churn out at lightning pace. You could churn out one a day if you wanted to. And since people are willing to consume it, they don't really care if a human being produced it, I guess. They don't care if it's like actual music or art or anything. They just want the noise. Well, you're not going to beat AI in that department. So I do truly believe that we're not far off from it being mainly the Billboard charts dominated by AI tracks. I think it's getting to that point. And I'm not even talking just like AI assisted tracks. I'm talking like Zanaya Monet level, fully AI generated music charting on Billboard. And that sucks. That really fucking sucks. Oh well, I guess. Jesus Christ. Big stinky. That shit is awful. Anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's it. So yeah. Here's something I've been glued to that I think more people need to be made aware of because it's very serious. Right now, there is a slap boxing match that's been going back and forth between Pete Hegseth and Anthropic. And really, it's the entire Pentagon versus Anthropic. They're behind Claude, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. The military wants unrestricted access to Anthropic's AI. And they have a contract in place, and right now, Anthropic is planting its feet in lat spreading, refusing to be bullied into giving them unrestricted access.
The CEO of one of the biggest AI companies in the world is meeting with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth today as the Pentagon threatens to essentially blacklist that company, Anthropic, from lucrative government contracts if the AI company doesn't lift its restrictions on how the military can use its technology. The Pentagon has a $200 million contract with Anthropic. And a source tells CNN that the company has concerns over two issues: AI-controlled weapons and mass domestic surveillance of American citizens.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me. Yeah, that one passes the smell test. Those are very legitimate concerns, and Anthropic wants these restrictions in place to ensure that its AI can't be used for mass surveillance of American citizens or autonomous AI weapons. And because of their reluctance to concede on that, Pete Hegseth has been stomping his feet, bench pressing 315, and has given them a deadline till Friday to play ball with them or risk being blacklisted. And the reality of the situation is, even if Anthropic doesn't budge and they wipe their ass with the contracts, numerous other AI companies will step up and just gladly take the bukkake from the Pentagon with completely unlimited access, no restrictions to their AI. But right now, Anthropic is the most powerful and the one that they really want, which is why they're trying so hard to get them to release these restrictions and let them use it for whatever they want. Which, again, the main things from Anthropic that they are very concerned about is the mass surveillance of American citizens and AI autonomous weaponry. Again, I think those are very reasonable restrictions to keep in place to ensure that the AI can't be used for those two things, because it fucking shouldn't be. If anyone here has ever watched Terminator or any sci-fi movie where AI assumes direct control of the military and everything goes tits up, you've seen this exact storyline play out in those montages that give you the lore breakdown for how we got there. Like, it's crazy to see it unfolding now in real time in the real world. Obviously exaggerating a bit, not quite to that level yet, but it is extremely serious. And I think any reasonable person would agree with these kind of restrictions, because AI shouldn't be used for mass surveillance on American citizens. And under no circumstances should physical attacks be determined by AI with no human input whatsoever. It shouldn't be making targeting decisions without human input. Like, fully autonomous AI weaponry is a terrible fucking idea. And actually, the CEO of Anthropic did an interview going over these two things because he's not backing down on them.
That's one reason why I'm worried about the autonomous drone swarm, right? So, the constitutional protections in our military structures depend on the idea that there are humans who would, we hope, disobey illegal orders. With fully autonomous weapons, we don't necessarily have those protections.
Now, for what it's worth, I'm no fan of Anthropic. There is no AI mega corporation you'll catch me waving the #1 foam finger around for and advocating for and glazing or anything like that. I think all of these companies are greedy as fuck, controlled by shady vampire ghoul creatures. And I know Anthropic has built up somewhat of a reputation for being the good guys in AI. But I am not one of the people that actually believe that at all. But he's 100% right. Fully autonomous weaponry cannot disobey an order, even an illegal one. It will always follow through, no matter what, unquestionably. And that's not a good thing. That's not a positive thing. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen a lot of those like YouTube videos, or like a long time ago, the Reddit story that would circulate like once a year for the big updates talking about the man who potentially saved the world, Stanislav Petrov, who was an officer during the Cold War era, and while on duty, he received a ping from the early warning system alerting him to incoming United States missiles. He believed that it could have been a false alarm, so he decided to go against protocol, and instead of reporting the incoming missiles, he waited. And it turns out his hunch was correct. It was a malfunction in the early warning system, but the standard protocol dictates that he was to report these incoming missiles, which could have led to a retaliation from the Soviets, which would have led to a retaliation from the US and could have been a nuclear disaster. There's been a lot of debate about whether or not that would have even happened had he reported the missiles, because there would have been other checks that would have went into place potentially, but with such high tension and such little time with incoming missiles, there's a lot of speculation that, yes, had he reported it, they could have immediately just decided to retaliatory strike the US. Regardless, what is irrefutable is that he made the right decision by disobeying protocol, disobeying like the order of operations here. By not reporting those missiles, he made sure that there wasn't a nuclear disaster. It was the right call. The point I'm making is the ability to disobey an order or not follow through on protocol is something that's important. And there's tons of examples of it. I just chose this because I think it's the one some of you have probably heard of. So there's no benefit to having fully autonomous AI weaponry that can't disobey anything and has to follow through on everything without question.
Update these protections appropriately. So, think about the Fourth Amendment. It is not illegal to, put cameras around everywhere in public space and, record every conversation. It's a public space. You don't have a right to privacy in a public space. But today, the government couldn't record that all and make sense of it. With AI, the ability to transcribe speech, to look through it, correlate it all, you could say, oh, there's this, this person is a member of the opposition. This person is expressing this view, and make a map of all 100 million. And so, are you going to make a mockery of the Fourth Amendment by the technology finding kind of technical ways around it?
He then goes on to say that maybe we need to update a lot of these protections to encompass things like AI finding workarounds for it. And the point he is making is that this kind of implementation of AI could very much make a mockery of the Fourth Amendment, flushing it down the shitter. His point is, even though it's not illegal to have cameras in public all over the place, out the wazoo till the cows come home, without AI, they can't piece together everything, comb through everything, make a map of people that's, opposition, stuff like that. But with AI, they can. Mass surveillance is made much more possible. It would circumvent protections of things like the Fourth Amendment. He's right. So he is not backing down on these things, which is what's causing so much friction with Pete Hegseth and the Pentagon, which I really feel like any sensible person should see and be extremely concerned, because I think these are reasonable restrictions. Now, unfortunately, like I said, even if Anthropic does stick to their guns here and it does cost them this contract, it doesn't just die there. It doesn't fizzle out. OpenAI and XAI have made it pretty clear they're willing to just, with a wide open mouth, just take the golden shower, let them use it for things like mass surveillance or autonomous AI weaponry. They're totally fine with completely unrestricted access, which had my jaw on the floor because XAI is Elon Musk's company. You're telling me Elon Musk would be okay with mass surveillance? No, not that guy. No, I'd eat my left shoe. I don't believe that for even a second. Maybe he just doesn't know. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Anyway, though, I do think this is something everyone should care about. I feel like the restrictions are reasonable, and the military should have no qualms about not being able to be used for mass surveillance on American citizens or completely autonomous AI weaponry. Maybe that's a hot take, maybe I'm on the crack pipe, but I think those restrictions are totally fair, and it's kind of alarming that they're making such a huge stink about it, and going to, outright saying they're going to blacklist Anthropic should they not lift those limitations. Don't think that's a good thing. It makes it seem like they want to use it to spy on every American citizen, and they want to use it for autonomous AI weaponry. Those aren't good things. That's how it's looking here. So yeah, just wanted to yap about this a bit. That's it. See ya. I want you to take a good hard look around you right now. Are you surrounded by concrete walls and bars? If the answer to that question is no, it means that you're not in jail. Congratulations. Good job, bucko. Do you enjoy that fresh air? That freedom? Would you be willing to trade it for a couple of views on TikTok? I imagine most of you politely decline that offer. However, there is a handful of fungal parasites called TikTok pranksters that enthusiastically pump their fist and say, yes, absolutely, I will make that trade. A trade that's worse than the fucking Mavericks getting rid of Luka. There are TikTok pranksters who are totally remorseless and willing to trade their freedom for a couple of views on TikTok. And today I just learned about the most egregious example of this. Alexis Martinez Arizala. You don't know his name. You'll never know his name, but you do know, most likely, what he did recently. Alexis was that brain-dead goober, that bumbling, drooling idiot that did the AI prank on the officer, where he showed him an AI-generated video of that officer's patrol car being broken into, and then got arrested for it. This video kind of popped off because everyone was clowning on this guy for a dog shit AI prank. I talked about it a little bit, but I didn't really follow it because I just assumed this would be business as usual with these parasites where they get a slap on the wrist, thrown back into society for them to just continue to be this miasma of cringe that haunts every fucking facet of civilized society for their TikTok clout. But it turns out I was actually wrong. You see, this dumb asshole actually went above and beyond the Call of Duty here for garbage pranks. He did this AI prank multiple times to such an extreme degree that he has been extradited from Puerto Rico and is facing serious charges here in Florida. And according to Atosi's video, could carry up to 12 years in prison. So let's go ahead and show you the most viral stunt that he did here, his AI prank on the officer.
We are told he's a South Florida native, but U.S. Marshals actually caught up with him in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
You're actually in here.
Here's the video circulating on social media that shows 4 men in suits entering a Seminole County deputy's patrol vehicle.
They were going inside of your car, in and out.
An online prankster recording the moments he walks into Academy and shows it to the deputy. The deputy, clearly convinced, runs out to the parking lot, hand on his weapon.
So you probably just left it unlocked.
It should have been unlocked. I hit the button. But this video is fake. It's a deep fake, to be exact.
What a classic gut buster there. Haha! Gotcha. You thought your car was being broken into. And he doesn't just do it to officers, by the way. He actually does this to normal civilians as well, terrorizing them with these same kind of AI fakes that he makes of them and doing like crazy shit or having their things stolen or even their spouse cheating on them. But this officer one did get him arrested. And something that got pointed out in the reports is that the officer was on edge approaching the vehicle thinking that it had been broken into, so he did have his hand on his weapon. If there was just a completely innocent civilian that happened to be near that police car with the officer approaching it, there is no doubt in my mind, and also other officers chimed in and also echoed the sentiment, that that would have been a situation where the officer would have probably ended up detaining that completely innocent person solely based off of this AI video that this fucking loser made. So, and that could have, who knows what could have happened there. It's extremely dangerous.
James Copenhaver agrees. The former detective says this deputy did everything correctly, but things could have ended differently.
What would have happened if some bystander would have been stopped at this patrol car, tying his shoe or what have you, and this deputy approached? Pretty good chance that person's going to probably be put on the ground at gunpoint because the deputy doesn't know what's going on.
That guy is totally right. The entire basis of this prank, like the punchline, is making the person you're harassing fearful. In this case, it was the officer. Like I said, he does it to normal civilians as well in similar fashion with their shit being stolen. But he's making the officer afraid that there's now people breaking into his car, fucking playing musical chairs in there, patty cake. You got Mike and the Dirty Boys maybe having an orgy in there, who really knows? He's just showing him this video that is convincing enough to make the officer believe that his car is being broken into. So if there is just some person out there for whatever reason near his vehicle, maybe stop tying their shoe like he mentions in that example, there's a chance that person gets, you know, held at gunpoint or something, and maybe even taken to the ground, all based off of this TikTok prankster's garbage. It is just dangerous, no matter how you spin it.
Deputies say 22-year-old Alexis Martinez Arizala posted the video on his social media accounts to gain attention and create viral content. He was arrested Friday in Puerto Rico and is now facing 4 charges, 2 of which are felonies.
It needs to be bumped up to a felony. That would help curtail some of the stuff and start putting people in jail for it. It's not fun and games. It's serious business.
I couldn't agree more. There needs to be real serious consequences for this type of shit. It's not pranking, it is harassment, and in some cases, in other pranksters, just assaulting people as well. Like, there needs to be legitimate punishment there, otherwise it's going to continue to snowball as it currently is and has for years. They just, for some reason, play softball with all this shit, just giving them like a light little spank on the tuchus, a little tush slap there saying, all right, now don't do it again, mister. Here's a stern talking to, we expect better. And then, of course, it doesn't do anything. So they don't get punished. Other people see that there's no repercussions for it, and they want the TikTok attention too, so they start emulating it. This guy didn't invent AI pranks, by the way. That prank he's doing on the officer is an AI prank that's been around for over a year now. I made a video on it like, I think 5 months ago now, from someone else doing the exact same shit to civilians. This is just the first guy that was dumb enough to do it to officers and get himself arrested. So they are just emulating what they see got others' attention, because that is what they so desperately crave. They need it more than oxygen, so they'll do anything for it, and they see those pranksters didn't get in trouble, so they do it themselves. But if Alexis Martinez Arizala does spend 12 years in jail and the rest of the pranking community sees that there are actual repercussions for this kind of shit, they'll stop. They will stop. So yes, I do think they need to be going to jail. I 1000% think that Alexis deserves some time in the slammer here as a great deterrent from other people trying to do similar shit, or worse shit to keep one-upping and elevating, because that's how it goes. Someone might see this, and if he gets let off easy, they'll be like, okay, I'll take it a step further. That's how you keep ending up with pranks like this.
Officials say he's now facing multiple charges, including fabricating physical evidence, making a false report to law enforcement, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and knowingly giving false information to a law enforcement officer. And a whole stack of charges. On top of the charges I mentioned earlier, he's also facing a felony tied to tampering with evidence, along with additional misdemeanor charges. But based on Florida law, one of the biggest charges he's currently facing is tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, which is a third-degree felony. And that alone can carry up to 5 years in prison, along with probation and fines.
Pretty serious charges that he's facing here. He's looking down the pipe of quite a few years in the big house. So how's he taking it, you might be asking yourself? Like a champ. Like a true hero.
I don't regret anything. It's been 2 days.
This is video of 22-year-old Alexis Martinez Arizala shortly after his arrest. Charged with providing false information after San Juan investigators say he showed an officer a hyper-realistic AI video depicting someone stealing the officer's cruiser.
But hey, I don't regret nothing.
His arrest came 2 weeks after deputies in Seminole County say he pulled a similar stunt.
He reiterates that he regrets nothing. All of this is worth it to him. Potentially many years in jail is worth it because he got some TikTok views. Fucking insanity. This should be making the job easy for the justice system. You have someone who has serious charges. He is outright telling you he doesn't regret it. He is making it clear he'll probably do it again. So why the fuck would you be taking it easy on someone who is giving all signs, all indications with his whole chest that he is going to reoffend?
He's now facing 4 charges in Seminole County, 2 of them felonies.
In 1 month, I hit 50,000 followers on TikTok.
That's body camera footage of Arizala months earlier at the Home Depot of Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, where West Palm Beach police say he's pulled similar pranks twice before.
Yeah, it was wild.
Police say Arizala first showed Melanie Valentine an AI video of her truck being stolen, then tried to get her into his car.
But it was really scary, like thinking about it after the fact.
Here's a little montage of just the normal civilians he also does this kind of shit to. So this lady was apparently shown an AI video that he made of her vehicle being stolen, and then I guess tried to get her into his car with him. That's some super creepy psychopath shit right there. So he didn't just stop at like, your car got stolen. I'm kidding, it didn't, it's AI. He didn't even stop there. He's like, no, you gotta get in my vehicle now, come on in. Get in my car. We gotta chase it down, don't we? Come on, get in. What a fucking weirdo.
In a second, the content creator admitted on this body camera to using another customer's likeness to create an AI image of him kissing another woman, then showed it to his wife.
That's not his wife. That's a fake one.
Oh yeah, you love to see that. Normal couple minding their own business in Home Depot, only to be interrupted and harassed, trapped in an unskippable cutscene with this shameful piss stain that's AI generated a video of the husband kissing another woman in the store. Now, I can't tell from this footage since it's blurred, but they do seem to be on the older side of things, so maybe there's a chance that they didn't recognize this as AI, and now the wife thinks that the husband is unfaithful to her. Like, it's just, this isn't even, like, entertaining. It's just fucking sad.
In a third stunt, police say he startled a West Palm Beach gas station clerk.
I just showed him an AI video of like a body just getting into like a fake body.
He was arrested that night for resisting an officer.
Bro, are y'all serious?
But not for any crimes related to his AI use.
This one sounds fucking insane to me. I can't piece it all together and can't find the original, but from what I can gather from this, he AI generated a video at that gas station of a body, presumably a dead body is my guess, that scared the gas station clerk and was designed to scare him, which is what led to all of this here. What's even the prank there? Aha, I made this gas station worker think someone was fucking dead. Haha. I can't even fathom the type of unlovable, greasy loser that actually likes these kind of pranks. Just sitting there clapping, giggling. Haha, that's so naughty. That's so savage. Anyway, I won't bother torching you with more of this guy's trash. He is facing some serious charges, and I can only sit here, fingers crossed, hoping that they don't play softball with him. He has literally said, puffed out his chest like a real tough guy, and said he has no regrets. As if he did anything worthwhile here. He did AI pranks, and now there's a chance he just threw his whole life away for it. And I really hope that they do seriously punish him to serve as a nice deterrent from other losers like this guy trying to do the same shit. Anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. Over a decade ago, I told a story that still to this day is the most unbelievable true story I have. It is a riveting, exhilarating tale of disgust, horror, and inspiration. I literally just blue screened right there, just trying to find the right words to describe this experience. And I hadn't told this story in over a decade, at least I don't remember talking about it, but a week ago for the other channel, we had Wubby and his crew down, and one of the videos we filmed was a little game where you would either tell a lie or tell the truth, and then a team would have to guess if that was make-believe, phony baloney, or a legitimate experience, and I got tasked with telling a truth. So I chose this story because it just sounds like it couldn't be possible, yet it is. It is the story of my sophomore year of college when I went up to Michigan State to party, and I met one hell of a woman up there, I'll tell you what. When I was in college, at 19 years old, I, even back then, had a big fear of flying, but I had a buddy of mine I knew on Xbox Live. His name was Kyle. He was in a frat at Michigan State, and I forgot the name of the frat, but he had invited me to their big parties. I think it was for St. Patty's Day. They were doing like a weekend of partying. And this is when I first started to be social, and I said, you know what? Fucking do it live. I bought a plane ticket, accepted the invitation. I went to Michigan State University, and I went to their parties. I met a lovely woman at one of the house parties. I got her number, we chatted. Didn't hear from her for like a day. She texted me the next night, and I was violently high. Ill, very ill. I had inhaled the bong water from a gravity bong. Ooh. I was struggling. I didn't know right from left. She had texted me to come over that evening. I wasn't going to pass up an opportunity. I had a buddy of mine drive me to her apartment. When I got there, she offered some wonderful accoutrements.
Excuse me?
One of which was a blowjob. I didn't.
Oh. I say lie. What do you guys think?
I was still in a fugue state. I peed all in her mouth. and
what the fuck?
Of course, there's only so much space in this cavity, so she popped off. I peed everywhere in that bedroom. To which she said, "I can't do this right now." So she went into the shower to clean off, and I sat there in shame and confusion.
Truth?
I was so quick at the start of the story to think oh yeah, this is true. I didn't even have to think twice. It's so unbelievable. That last bit, I am praying for you that is a lie. I have so many questions. I think we get quite a few. They grilled him.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, the most unbelievable thing, you flew?
Yeah, I did. I flew.
Yeah.
It was one of only, I think, 8 or 9 times I've flown. It was a solo dolo flight. Because I was finally socializing. This was a huge opportunity.
Did she gag when you pissed in her mouth?
I think she thought it was cum at first. And then when it was very yellow, it became more apparent that it was not.
Okay.
Okay.
But she did not throw up.
This might just have you explain it again, but I'm very confused how that happens. Yeah. Were you hard? I mean, I have to be real here. Were you hard?
Yeah.
And then you just started. I don't think I've ever mixed that up. So you ripped a gravity bong.
Yeah.
You said
multiple times.
And you were nauseous during it.
Oh, I inhaled the bong water. I thought I was begging to.
Right.
Yeah, I was begging. I was begging to go to the hospital.
And you were very hot. Very hot.
It's just
a common theme.
Was this like a homemade plastic bottle one, or is it like an actual
bucket? I don't remember at all. It was a weapon.
You would remember that.
I have a question. I know I'm not the question asking team, but did you say she said she can't do this?
Can't do this right now. Right now. Do this right now. We'll come back.
Also,
I like how we said. One of which, out of the many offerings she gave, one of which was. How did it end? Did I miss that? She went and showered and then.
We became good friends.
Did you stay the night?
Yeah.
This is no.
And that was the first time that you had met them.
After the
Earlier,
party.
yeah.
Yeah, but you met them like that.
You peed in a girl's mouth and it worked out to where you could stay
Some
in the
girls
home.
like that.
Did she like it?
No.
Well, she said not right now.
I think I'm on full. This is a lie.
It has to be a lie.
I think
full
that
truth.
I think that this is like
How could we bring
the
you to
beginning
lie?
elements of this are probably true, but especially the end of it is like there's no way.
He potentially pissed like into the carpet of a woman's
Yes.
home.
Yeah.
You don't stay after that.
No.
She don't keep you there. Was this?
I don't care if you're the most suave motherfucker on earth. If you pee
didn't
into
know
someone's
where I
mouth
was.
and on their floor the night you met them, you're not staying the night.
No, she was sober.
This is so a
This is a
lie.
lie.
This is so a lie.
Okay, why do you think it's true? Because we should get to the bottom of this. This is our one shot here.
Yeah.
His reactions are like
He was dying laughing, and
So
so was the
genuine.
crew.
That's why I think that some of it's true. Like bits of it.
Yeah.
But not. There's just 0% chance.
I can't believe that he peed in a girl's mouth and then stayed and like watched TV.
And like hung out.
Family
yeah,
Guy
maybe
funny
everything was
moments.
Check this out.
Check out Spider Ham.
You'll never guess what Stewie says.
Yeah, okay. I can get to lie.
Well, okay.
Because like
I have a
her
question.
reaction just being like no gagging.
I'm gonna go shower.
No,
I'm gonna go
and being
shower
like,
and then
I
come
cannot
back
do this right now.
and then staying the night.
The stay the night is
What'd
not
you guys
that
do
weird to me.
Some dirty deeds.
You went around too.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Can we just lock And she was
As
sober?
far as I know,
What?
yeah.
Okay, wait.
Okay,
Did this
wait,
woman
wait,
have
wait.
a septum piercing?
No.
That's
Okay, wait, I have
valid question.
Valid question.
how long were you already an established content creator at this point?
Oh, good
I was
question.
faceless.
I think maybe it's a lie.
What do you say?
He said no.
I was faceless.
What is
When
that?
he was
supposed-
19.
Faceless.
What is that?
Oh, he's
You're saying he
19
can't pull?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if you were as large
No,
as
I
he
get
is
it.
now and you piss in a girl's mouth,
She
you're
would
gonna
come
ask
back.
them to still
Yeah,
fuck them.
I agree. I agree. What? Lie?
I think it's a lie. And if all of that is true, hats off
Yeah,
to
good on you.
however the fuck that happened.
Also, you delivered
now
it really
it's
well.
on the other channel forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lie,
I'm gonna go lie
Charlie.
as
I
well.
go lie.
I'm gonna go lie.
Locking it in.
Locking it in.
It's the truth. I've actually told this story once before, right after it happened in like 2014.
I remember that.
You made it into a video?
Well, I was playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, you guys aren't gonna believe that. No, she's married. She got married years
That's
ago.
tough.
Do not say her name.
Do not.
Every
what are the other
single
accoutrements? I have
aspect of
so
that.
many more questions now.
She had sex with him after he peed in her mouth.
She must have been a chill lass.
That's so
That's
nice.
one way to word it,
That's
yeah.
so
That
nice.
is one way to word it.
She was a trooper.
She really stuck it out for
Yeah.
you. That's awesome.
I can't do this right now. I'll be right back. Just give me a second.
Well, she really meant right now because she went and then came back and was like, all right, now I am.
Don't pee in me
I
again.
guess, I guess she thought that you were
you
going to
do
say that.
it.
She goes, oh, you know, maybe not that, but
So it was a college apartment. So like it was very cramped. Yeah. It was separate rooms. But so like since it was a college apartment like room, it's very cramped. So her bookshelf was right next to the bed.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Harry Potter collection.
Oh my fucking God.
So I went back and checked that Five Nights at Freddy's video to see if there was any details I missed. And I don't remember keeping it so vague. So I remembered in that video when I was talking about it, it was a few days after it happened, and I was worried that if I mentioned drug usage, like about being high, it would get the video taken down or I'd be in trouble. So I do remember deliberately omitting that detail, but what I didn't recall until I went back and rewatched that video is that in its place, I made it seem as though I just stubbornly refused to pee, like cross my arms. No, I will not tinkle. I'm gonna be a big man and get a blowjob with a full bladder. Which is just an unhinged mentality. But probably the biggest revelation from rewatching that was that I've misremembered what she said. I'm going to trust my word from almost 12 years ago where I said that she verbatim stated that she can't deal with this. I remembered her saying that she just can't do this right now because she went and showered. And I can only imagine what she saw when she came back. Just like dripping urine all over the place like a fucking horror movie scene with me sitting on the bed, cock and balls out, probably rocking back and forth with my eyes rolled in the back of my skull like a fucking exorcism scene. Because I did just have like a demon expelled from my wiener. She done sucked the urine devil out of me there. And yeah, we did hook up that night. And as I said in the Five Nights at Freddy's video, we did see each other quite a bit after that. Came over the following day, we did it all over again, sans the pissing everywhere. And then, even when I came home, we stayed in contact. I was desperately looking through my old photos because I had remembered I had taken a photo right after I broke my pinky playing pickup basketball, and I sent it to her. And I was like mewing, and I thought it was a really cool picture. Also, my pinky never fully healed. So that's why I have this like really fucked up pinky that I can't fully extend. And I sent her that. I don't even remember why. I think it was unprompted. And she was like, oh, that's pretty cool, I guess. So like, yeah, I mean, we stayed in contact. And then I remember a buddy of mine told me she had got married at some point or something. So yeah, definitely an experience I will never forget. She was great. And it's been a long time since I've dusted off this story. So it was a lot of fun to go down memory lane again. That's really about it. So yeah, it happened. Doomsday is upon us. Nostradamus tried to warn us, but we plugged our ears and refused to listen. But now we have been dragged kicking and screaming into the end times. Pranksters found AI. Or at least one of them did. This one courageous soul bravely peeled himself away from his daily routine of eating glue to use AI to have an overwhelmingly negative impact on strangers' days. Full disclosure though, I don't think every video they've posted doing this prank is real. Because some of them are just so outrageous that I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't have had his ass beaten right then and there for doing it. So I take all of them with a grain of salt, but what he's showcasing is very much something that can be done, and I have seen other videos of others doing to a lesser degree. This guy, however, has made it his entire identity to do these AI pranks. So he's the one that I want to talk about today to show.
Do you know that guy in the blue shirt that was sitting right behind you? He was like going up behind you and like kissing you in the back of the neck. I recorded it. That guy, right? Mm-hmm. Good. He did it with...
That's crazy.
What this guy does isn't really a prank. Fundamentally, what he's doing is he's framing innocent strangers for crimes they didn't commit. He has, I think, 28 of these. It's basically all he does now is these AI pranks. And I don't know how what he's doing isn't a crime in and of itself. Because this is going to lead to an innocent person getting arrested. No doubt in my mind. In this one right here, what he's doing is he's going up to a stranger, claiming that another stranger that was sitting near him was kissing the back of his neck. A sexual assault. And then he shows him a video of it and is convincing the guy that it happened and is goading him to confront that gentleman, who did not do this, by the way. This is all an AI-generated video that he is now trying to fan the flames of an actual fucking fist fight for. So even if this one is fake, which I have a hard time believing this one in particular is, because an employee even gets involved in there, and I feel like they probably wouldn't participate in shit like this. But even if it is fake, what he's showing here is something very real. You can just manipulate videos of innocent people doing crimes, and it's going to be very hard for them to defend themselves. Especially because it looks as though he's mainly doing this to elderly people that probably don't know about this kind of technology, so how the fuck could they even possibly argue their innocence?
You did to me like that.
I kissed him in the back of the neck.
You did.
Yeah. Is that you?
I didn't even touch this guy.
That was a lie.
Yes.
Hey, did you see me touch this guy?
Look at that camera.
Oh my God, where'd that come from?
Him.
Him.
No.
He.
Him.
No, it didn't.
Yes, sir.
You did.
I didn't kiss nobody in the back of the neck.
That's right there.
That's weird.
That's weird.
So they can't really argue against him because he's showing them a video of what happened and convincing everyone else that this is a real video. And eventually it's going to lead to one of these people getting arrested or getting beaten up. Like in this case right here, that guy who felt violated, who's to say he didn't just start swinging on this man after seeing this video? Again, assuming of course this is real and not with like paid actors, which I'm leaning towards it being authentic here. I think there's too many moving parts, as well as like someone who does appear to be an employee coming over. I do think he did this to just random strangers. And if that is the case, then this could have gone severely off the rails, all based on a manipulated video here that's not real. And this corny goofball has the audacity to say that these are harmless pranks and that what he's doing is, you know, basically a righteous effort as an AI social experiment to raise awareness on how AI can be dangerous. But you homunculus, everyone knows that. This is a very legitimate fear a ton of people have, where someone like you could fake a video of them committing a crime to get them in trouble. This isn't some valuable PSA. This is something people already know about and are already worried about. There's absolutely nothing educational about just framing these innocent people as criminals or like sexual degenerates or something, or trying to like have them fight each other like fucking fisticuffs, all based on AI generated videos. That doesn't do anything besides just have an overwhelmingly negative effect on these strangers.
When you guys are like taking forever, he got mad and like went back there. Is he allowed to go back there?
First off, I didn't go back there. Who the fuck are you?
The joke is these people panic thinking that they're about to be punished, maybe even go to jail, all based off a video they know can't be real, but can't explain its existence because they don't know about AI tech. So this guy is now being framed for going into the back after getting angry or something, and all he's saying is like, I didn't do that. Who the fuck are you? Little did he know he was in the presence of the alpha goober here who likes to pretend that he's some kind of saint. But what he's actually doing, assuming these are real, which this one definitely feels real, what he's actually doing is just exploiting elderly people, treating them like props in his videos for the sake of making them the punchline of his joke of, haha, they don't know this is AI and I've made them look like criminals and they can't explain it, ha ha ha, they look so stupid. So that way he can get some Instagram clout.
So I got like a couple calls saying there's like a man in here like popping, like stealing stuff out of people's pockets.
Can you see the video?
Yeah.
So you didn't have a wallet or anything?
No, no, it's right here.
I have no problem calling out the damn person that did it. It's in your butt.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Enemy spotted. Here he's actually going up to store staff about a stranger pickpocketing one of the employees. Again, this is a crime. They even all go together as a group to confront this guy they think stole from this man or was attempting to. Who's to say they wouldn't have just called the police right then and there and this innocent man being taken away in handcuffs? Now, I imagine at that point he probably would have stepped in and said it's an AI-generated video. Maybe, but maybe he wouldn't. Maybe he would be afraid that then he'd be in trouble. So maybe he'd just keep his fucking mouth shut and that guy would then go to jail all based on this AI-generated video. It's terrifying. Not only is he trying to suckle from the titty of clout, but he's also just trying to promote some dog shit website that's probably a scam. It's why he has his watermark plastered all over the place there, and in every single one of these videos he is shamelessly shilling for that site constantly. I imagine it is a fraudulent website based on this guy's behavior and the way that it gets discussed here, which should be further evidence to this guy's true motives not being something positive about AI awareness, but instead to get Instagram followers and money through his affiliate partnership here with that site that he is constantly plugging. Now again, there is a chance that this is all scripted, but I find ones like these hard to believe that he would have the wherewithal to fake it and be able to get this many people on board with it, because that does appear to be like actual Sprouts staff. Like, they are wearing a uniform, they are coming from the back of the store. This is not a set, it doesn't seem. This Instagram account is not nearly big enough to have some kind of soundstage out there in LA to put together, like, a Sprouts studio look. Like, it's not fucking Pluribus here or anything. Like, it feels like he is actually at Sprouts. Those are actually employees, and they do legitimately go confront that guy. It feels real.
Into a team member's pocket.
I didn't reach into his pocket.
We got a complaint, we received it, and you magically get this on camera and you're reaching into one of my team members' pockets.
I swear that's not me.
The odds of that same shirt, though.
Mm-hmm. What the? I don't know what the hell's going on. I did not go in his pocket. This is not making any sense to me. This is ridiculous. I did not touch his pockets or his pants. So I don't know what the hell this is.
Now, one thing I will say is he shows 2 different AI-generated videos here for the evidence about what happened. And it feels like it should be obvious that something's very fishy there. Like, surely the employee would have felt something or, something like that. Like, it doesn't make sense. But I also could see a side of things where they have these videos from a customer who's making this complaint about being, witness to a crime. So they're acting on that information without really thinking too deeply on it because they have this evidence here. So they confront that customer who seems very confused by it. I do think his reaction is less than I would have expected it to be when so many people kind of gank him here about him stealing or attempting to steal from an employee. But overall, I just can't imagine this one being faked. Maybe he's in on it, so he's just playing along. But in that case, wouldn't he be worried about facing repercussions? Because those do appear to be real employees. And like I said, if they did alert authorities and authorities showed up, would this guy have piped up and said oh no, it's an AI generated video, I made it all up, it's fake? I don't think he would have, because I bet he would have been worried that the cops would turn around and throw him in cuffs for falsifying evidence or something, because it is a misleading testimony, it's fake, and all of it is geared towards getting this guy in trouble for the sake of his Instagram prank. Now, while I can't say for 100% certain whether or not all of these are real or not, what is real is pranksters are integrating AI into their dog shit. The ones that I've seen arising on TikTok that I think some of you have probably already seen by now are people that are AI generating fake IDs of employees to show them and be like, look at this, I found your ID, that kind of thing. And it's very quick in and out, and they laugh at them for not knowing how that's possible, which is trash, but it's not to this level. This is the only account I've seen doing AI pranks like this. And if they're real, it's extremely dangerous. And if they're fake, he's still a loser for doing this anyway. What the fuck is the point in faking pranks on something people already know can happen? It's not even entertaining. It's just lame, and it is just preying on the fear of what this technology can do. It's not raising awareness because people already know about it. It is very easy to generate this kind of shit. It is just useless. It is solely here as a vessel for him to promote his Instagram and his affiliate website that he is constantly just throwing out there. Because I'm guessing he makes a few bucks from people that get referred to it. It's trash. Even if it's fake, it's still dog shit. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's really it. Yep. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the Smile Booth. Can I take your order? One ear-to-ear grin. Good choice. Coming right up. I want to give you something to actually, this isn't even sarcasm. I want to give you something to actually smile about. The biggest charity stream ever is currently going on right now, and the amount of money that it is raising for an organization called Cancer Fighters is extraordinary. It comes from Polish streamers Lotwogang. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation. I'm so fucking sorry. I don't know how to say it properly. Anyway, 9 days ago, they started a stream to raise money for a charity called Cancer Fighters. You can see that they had a goal of 10,000 zloty, which is roughly 2,700 USD. Over the course of the 9 days, what has unfolded is genuinely extraordinary. They went well above that goal. They soared far higher than that, and it became the most successful charity stream ever. As of me making this video right now, the 9 days has just now ended, and I don't want to spoil the surprise for how much they raised, but whatever you're thinking, those are rookie numbers. You're going to need to drastically pump those numbers up. You're going to need to double it, maybe even triple it, because this was the record-breaking charity stream that I genuinely don't think people would ever guess to the amount of money that was raised. It is incredible. This had Polish celebrities, influencers, television stations, everyone coming together not only to watch it, but also to donate and support, the money going directly to children battling cancer through this organization called Cancer Fighters. It became just all of Poland supporting this. And what they have achieved is awe-inspiring.
To pędzi! Oni chcą, żebyś
Wszyscy razem krzyczemy, nie przestajemy, nie przestajemy, pełno, pełno!
Dobrze.
Jaką?
No jaką?
Się nigdzie nie wybieram. Tutaj jestem. Dawaj Maja tego pozera. Ciągle tutaj jestem.
This was a little 6-7 treat here for everyone. 67 million zloty comes out to around 18 million USD that they had raised as of that moment. That's not where it capped out. I just wanted to show you that one because I found it to be kind of wholesome, and also that video right there does kind of explain some of what was going on with the stream. At the time, 550,000 viewers is what the stream was peaking at. And if you thought that's the highest peak it could reach, you'd be a damn fool. You'd be like my pediatrician who predicted that I would cap out at 5'8". Except I didn't reach 5'8". I stopped at 5'6". So you'd be the opposite of my pediatrician, because they kept growing. I stopped growing at 5 foot. They went way above 550,000 concurrent viewers and way above $18 million raised.
Wyrok! Rak to nie 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 wyrok! Zapamiętajcie to, rak to nie wyrok! 200 milionów, ale to jest tylko część tego wszystkiego! Te pieniądze ratują życie! Ratują życie, słuchajcie!
Here's the moment that they hit 200 million zloty raised for cancer fighters, which comes out to right around $55 to $56 million. And they're still not done, by the way. Still not done, by the way. Still only climbing from here. Their stream peaked, from what I was seeing, at 1.6 million concurrent viewers. That number in and of itself is absolutely fucking incredible, but it's even more wild when you look at the population of Poland. Poland has a population, from what I read, about 37 million people. So 1.6 million accounts for a little over 4% of the entire population of Poland was tuning into this stream and raising money for kids battling cancer. And again, from what I read about with this charity and this charity stream, 100% of those donations are going directly to that cause. So it is just an outstanding thing, and it's so incredible to see all of that support. And that brings us to the grand total. It just concluded after the 9 days. The charity stream from Latwo Gang raised over 250 million zloty, which is around $68 million. Amazing. Genuinely amazing. I wanted to yap about this a little bit because I think this is such a positive thing. It started with a goal of $2,500, and it concludes 9 days later over $68 million to help children battling cancer. An amazing stream, an amazing achievement. I just wanted to yap about it a bit. It's really about it. See ya. New crazy Florida chase just dropped. Look up Wild Chase in Florida Keys. Let's see. I bet this one goes crazy. 2 weeks ago from Scooper. A big police response. Is there audio right now? Because if it's only in the left channel, I won't hear it. My left earbud doesn't work.
This one?
Oh, multiple angles.
It's a Range Rover coming up on me right now.
Oh man, they insta-pit maneuvered this guy. Whoa! Jesus Christ! Now how's anyone gonna use this road without that sign? I gotta shut the whole bitch down. Man, this thing really ate that pit maneuver like it was a fucking hamburger. Wow. He's got the turn signals going, that's nice. He's not forgetting his road etiquette. He said, I don't respect the speed limit, but I will respect my turn signals. Oh, oh, up! Hit a banana peel.
We're slowing down right now. Past other vehicles, 80 plus weight, 70, 90.
Oh, he's lurking. He's hunting for another pit maneuver. I can smell it. Oh, he wants it. Oh, he wants it.
There's 3 or 4 behind me, coming up on another trooper now. Passing the 96, 96.
He's trying to throw him off with that turn signal there. It's a ruse. Yep, he's going for it again. Nope, nope, he's pulling off. He can't pit on this side. This guy knows it. He's familiar with the tactics. And that Range Rover's got some real get up and go to it. That thing can really scoot. He's lucky Steven Seagal's not in this jurisdiction. Dude would be catching up to him on foot. I think he's losing his opportunity for a pit maneuver. It's getting pretty crowded now. Fire the harpoon! I was wrong. You instantly just proved me wrong. I look like a real dummy now. Oh, the legendary 0 mile per hour pit maneuver! What was that? It sounded like he started building something out of Legos. What happened there? What the fuck happened? Ramp that shit off of a tow truck! Briefly interrupting this police chase just to let you all know the Cheeky free rinse soap is back in stock right now at usecheeky.com. We have the best soap in the universe. Go to usecheeky.com. People have been asking me to remind them when the restocks happen, so that's me doing it right now, presently. Oh! He really greased it. This officer really wants that pit maneuver, man. Is he gonna do it? Oh! No. I thought he was gonna go for that real low speed pit again. Oh, they spiked him! Damn it, it's not enough to stop the Range Rover! God, what are those tires made out of? Tungsten? Dude's got the adamantium rims. This shit probably reinflated. And there's someone at the Ring doorbell at the officer's house. What pandemonium! Man, this is quite an advertisement for a Range Rover, I'll tell you what. This thing eats pit maneuvers, spike strips. Nothing slows it down. There's no way the officer's gonna pit on this side, right? That'd be ridiculously reckless. No, there's no way. Is this off? Wait, is this guy insane? He'd send him barreling towards oncoming traffic. He'd take out an innocent bystander. Oh, they're splitting it. Did he? Oh, he pumped the brakes. Yep. I think he's losing speed. Yep. Looks like he got a little bump there. Man, this is a really good tour of the Key Largo area. I feel like I've seen everything. Oh god, the landmines. Damn, speed bumps. Ah, shit. Oh, good heavens. Oh, boy, howdy. The country club was not expecting this level of action. Good God, there's bumps. Oh, not again. The shocks can't take much more. Imagine the car drove into the water and turned into a sub. Yeah, imagine he hits the fucking submersible tech. Uh-oh. He's off-roading. Man just transported to Narnia back there. That's a parked tow truck. Someone ramp it off that bitch now. And that the cop was not about that action. He said, "I'm not going in the forest. You won't find me going in the trees." Ah! Oh, this cop just wants to pit maneuver anything that moves. He almost got his fellow officer. Oh, shit! That tire's completely gone. He's running on rims. This is probably curtains, right? Oh, they're squeezing him. They're putting the squeeze on him. Yep. Kablam. Oh, wait a minute! He's engaging the afterburners! He's turbo boosting! I like that the officer tried to chase him on foot there for a little bit. Man thought he was Superman for a second. Oh, God! Oh! If I was that guy in that vehicle, I would be beyond pissed right now that the officer just wrecked my shit for no reason. No, not the boat! Oh, God, not the boat, too! No!
See if you can get MC Soda set up.
Is this an instant replay, or is this still going somehow? This has to be an instant replay, right? Just a different angle? Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're just seeing it from the other officer's perspective, different POV. Man, they got every angle here. That truck is desperately trying to get out of the way. He's like, oh, fuck. No, I've seen this movie before. Not my truck. According to a news source, the boat cost $250K and the owner bought it 20 minutes ago. I'm sure the officers will cover it. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. They'll personally reimburse him. I'm certain. It's on their to-do list. Just give them some time. Oh man, that's brutal. Shoved up against the lockers here, right into this guy's brand new boat. Dual prop boat just getting manhandled, fresh off the lot. You know what? I'm assuming they just get him out of the vehicle. Yeah, it looks like that's it. Oh, that's ear piercing. Holy. That's deep fried audio.
Who's coming? Yeah, they were on standby.
Can I learn a little bit about this guy? Bring him into this vehicle for an interview.
Over here across the street, like done. What do you mean? Like the engine done, or? I don't know. My second piece done. He hit me. I got in front of him and he T-boned me. Oh shit. So crazy seeing how slow this guy was. Oh, he was unbelievable. Holy shit.
Look, boys, I know what I did was wrong, but how much fun did we have driving together, huh? So on November 4th, deputies and state troopers said Christopher Brinkley, 23 of Great Falls, Virginia, crashed a rented Range Rover into a trailered boat in Isla Mirada after authorities used multiple pit maneuvers trying to get him to stop. It started, authorities said, after Monroe County Sheriff Office deputies stopped Smithers in Key Largo after he nearly sideswiped her and was driving erratically. According to the report, he was wearing dark sunglasses despite overcast weather, appeared visibly fidgety and restless, now facing multiple charges including fleeing and eluding. Investigators said he told deputies he had taken Adderall, no alcohol was in his system. So it seems like it started because he nearly sideswiped someone. Who out of the boys would last the longest in a police chase? Oh, unquestionably Matt. No doubt in my mind. You get compensated. My car was hit by a car chase years ago. City paid for damages 12 years ago in Texas. Really? I've heard numerous times that you don't. Maybe it varies from precinct to precinct would be my guess. I don't know. I just wanted to briefly give you the latest information in the David case and the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. I know I've made a couple videos yapping about this, and it's a really genuinely difficult topic to even talk about because of how disgusting it is. But the reason why I keep bringing it up is because there is a not small number of people, a relatively strong movement, the Dipshits for David, that are constantly trying to brainwash people into believing that David has been framed. They keep regurgitating that, well, they haven't found him guilty yet, thus we know he's innocent and he has been framed, he's actually a victim in all of this, and they're trying to bury all of the real information and muddy everything, even though so much of this evidence is publicly available evidence. That, like, not even all the stuff that's in the case right now, there is so much information you can find that if you have a functioning frontal lobe, will lead you to one conclusion. David is pure evil, and every new piece of information from the prosecution here is beyond disturbing. So I just blabber about this because I want to at least provide the real facts about the case here to try and combat all of the incorrect gobbledygook people are spitting out there, this mumbo-jumbo from this group that for some reason wants everyone to be supportive of David and like plug their ears to what the prosecution is bringing forth. It's fucking lunacy.
Mark, the details alleged by prosecutors are frankly disgusting. In this preliminary 8-page brief signed by LA District Attorney Nathan Hochman, prosecutors paint a picture of a rising pop star who they say lured a young girl and then eliminated her when she threatened to expose their relationship and derail his fame.
This had been brought up previously with the potential motive behind David's killing of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. He had known her since she was 11 and sexually abused her, and he didn't even hide this deplorable situation here. She had appeared in like streams, there's videos of the two of them together, his community was even aware of her, but according to the mods, they didn't know that she was a child. They were unaware of her age, nor did they know that she was reported missing. I don't know if that's true or not, or if the mods are just trying to cover their own ass so they don't end up on the hook and in trouble. Couldn't tell you, but the point is, there is a lot of evidence with these two publicly together in photos, videos, all of that. And at some point, it is alleged that she made a threat about, making it more known that she's a child. She is a minor. And thus the prosecution alleges that the motive was David wanting to save his career, because if that information got out, it would damage his blossoming career. So in order to try and save that, he killed her.
In court for the second time today, attorneys for the singer, whose real name is David Burke, fought to seal the brief that prosecutors believe lays out a specific timeline and evidence of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez's murder. Prosecutors allege Rivas Hernandez and Burke first met when she was just 11 years old, and they have explicit sexual photos of the two. The brief also claims Burke stabbed Celeste several times and watched her bleed to death.
Now, in the previous information that was provided by prosecution, they were talking about the child pornography that they found on David's phone. Now they are also saying that there are explicit sexual photos of David and Celeste together. So that is probably the child porn that they were referring to then. Also saying that the two had met when she was 11. And the autopsy report was recently made public, where the cause of death was revealed to be sharp objects through the torso. So they are alleging that David stabbed her multiple times and then watched her bleed to death.
In the days after prosecutors claimed David had slaughtered Rivas Hernandez, they say he purchased tools to dismember her body. Prosecutors say Amazon delivered 2 chainsaws, a body bag, and blue inflatable swimming pool to David's home, all ordered under a fake name. Prosecutors say David cut off 2 of her fingers because one of them had a tattoo of his name on it. Prosecutors also allege they have text messages that discuss sex between the two, her pregnancy, and an abortion.
Every new piece of information that comes out from this case here is just shockingly evil. Like, this guy is the fucking devil, man. Holy. It's unthinkable. Just actual unfathomable evil. So, there's allegations that she was pregnant and also had an abortion. And they also have evidence of text messages exchanged between David and Celeste about sex. There were some headlines floating around earlier, like yesterday, that apparently said that, this is from Celeste to David, that all they do is have sex and hang out, and she wants something more than that. That's so fucked up. This is a child that David is routinely sexually abusing. Now, the method of chopping up her body to try and hide it was never disclosed to my knowledge, but here the prosecution is saying that they found evidence that he had purchased chainsaws and an inflatable pool, and that's how he was dismembering her corpse. Her corpse was found in pieces in the trunk of his vehicle after roughly 5 months decomposing in there. And another thing is, with this information about her pregnancy and abortion, it reminded me that when this story was first breaking and I was first covering it, there were a lot of screenshots being shared around of things David had said to his community, and one of them did mention a child on the way. Now, I don't imagine Discord screenshots from David are going to be anything the prosecution is going to be using in court in any big capacity. I imagine they have far stronger evidence than that. But even still, the fact that stuff like this exists is extremely alarming, and it is publicly accessible information here. To my knowledge, those screenshots, like the one where he said he had a kid on the way with @deleted user, haven't been debunked as some kind of hoax or photoshopped or a user that was impersonating him. I haven't seen anything to that effect, but community members seem to think that he was joking about that it was just a bit of a goof about the kid on the way. Though, in light of what the prosecution alleges about Celeste being pregnant and abortion, seems like there's a chance it wasn't a joke. But again, I don't think Discord messages here are going to be something the prosecution is relying on. I imagine they have far more solid evidence, but I just wanted to mention this because it reminded me, and it is just another piece of publicly available information that is out there that is now having even more weight put on it because of what the prosecution has been alleging with everything they have.
And text messages where Celeste threatens to expose Burke and destroy his career. In July, months after prosecutors say he'd stabbed her to death, Burke placed her body in the inflatable pool he'd ordered to prevent her blood from spilling onto his garage floor and used a chainsaw to cut off her limbs.
The medical examiner's report released just last week had noted those pieces of blue plastic in Rivas Hernandez's remains. Prosecutors now say those pieces of blue plastic were pieces of the inflatable pool that they say David had placed her body in. Burke has pleaded not guilty. He will stay locked up in jail until his next court date in May.
I don't think that's some kind of big coinky-dink there that the blue plastic that was noted in that report from the body happens to also potentially match the inflatable pool that they allege he had purchased in addition to those chainsaws. Like, I think if anyone's got their thinking caps on, and if you're actually bothering to pay attention to the case and actually look at the evidence, even the evidence that is publicly accessible, it should be an obvious conclusion here that David is not innocent. He is not some fucking angel, some saint that's been framed by a ne'er-do-well out there that's trying to, ruin David for their dubious schemes. David is pure evil. That's what I believe, and I think all of the evidence points to that fact as well.
Former prosecutor turned criminal defense attorney R.J. Dreiling says David's defense team will seize on one detail.
They note in their brief that David was sending text messages to Celeste after her death. They're going to use that to prove that, look, there's no way he knew that she was dead or responsible for it. He still tried to communicate with her after her death.
That's a pretty fucking weak argument, if you ask me. No. All of this evidence, it's hooey. It's a load of hooey because the only fact that matters is David was sending her text messages after she was already murdered. Why would he do that if he knew she was dead? Wouldn't make any sense. Checkmate. Gotcha. Like, that's trash. I think that is a complete trash argument because this is clearly someone who is going to great lengths to try and hide this. Chopping up, dismembering her corpse and stuffing it in a trunk. I imagine that even someone with only a handful of neurons could have come up with the scheme of still sending text messages even after death to try and give himself an alibi. Like, no, look guys, I didn't know. See, I sent messages when she was dead. I didn't know. It's terrible. Who could have done this? We gotta find who did this. There's a maniac on the loose. Like, I think it is a terrible, terrible argument. Now, of course, they're paid to represent him. They have to do their job. I get it, I guess. But my point is, I don't think that's going to be very strong on their side. I just really don't. Anyway, as always, praying that there will be justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez here in this case, and just wanted to give you the latest update. That's really about it. So, yeah. Boy, howdy, do I have a wacky update for you. If you're standing up, you're gonna want to take a seat. This is big. This will wake your grandma up. I posted a video earlier today giving you the aftermath of the r/art Reddit mod meltdown and how apparently the entire mod team had resigned, basically turning in their badge and gun saying, you know what? We're done here, bucko. All because one greasy ghoul on the moderation team let his ego spiral out of control because of that small crumb of power he was given as a moderator on the subreddit. And he just went ballistic. He lost his mind, lost his marbles, but could never lose his virginity, and it was just pure pandemonium. He got called out, couldn't handle the criticism, and then it seems like the entire mod team disbanded because of it. But I just learned, because I was reading the comments on the video, that Dolan Darkest had posted an update to the story that actually paints a very different, even more pathetic picture than what we thought happened. Because their post just says, "We out, you win, we all resign." What if I told you that's not the whole story? What if I told you that was a big fat lie? The calls coming from inside the house. It turns out that the real scoop here is even more degenerate than you could possibly imagine. Like, I don't even think fanfic writers would have come up with something this embarrassingly pathetic. So, big thanks to Dolan Darkest for uncovering this, because it is unbelievably comical. This is a truly special crash out that undoes 15 years of professional Redditing. It's incredible. And I use the word professional Redditing in jest. That's not really a thing. If anyone calls himself a professional Redditor, that is someone that needs to be locked inside Arkham Asylum ASAP.
It turns out the moderator who power tripped and caused all of this in the first place, known as Neo Diogenes, actually had one last power trip. According to one moderator, they had no idea what had happened, as no communication was given when the subreddit was locked down. He undid this lockdown, and then he got kicked as a mod.
So this is one of the mods on the team that was unaware they were fighting in a war right now. They didn't know Judgment Day had happened. So they're saying, "I woke up to a bunch of people DMing me about a situation I knew nothing about and responding to my comments in completely unrelated subreddits. I contacted admins, tried to contact the mod who had locked the subreddit through various channels, attempted to undo the lock, got my actions undone, then got booted as a mod. Now I see posts from meme subreddits I frequent and give my side. I haven't chosen anything lol." He then went on to explain that there can be unlimited mods, so he wasn't like taking somebody's space by being there, and only did what he could to help out with some of the tools and things like that. And it was not like, you know, constant updates what was happening there, which is why he was out of the loop. So Scooby-Doo and the crew pulled up here, and Dolan unmasked the mustache-twirling evil villain, and it turns out it was someone named Neo Diogenes, which, according to a lot of people on Reddit, is someone that has somewhat of a toxic history. I'm not overly familiar with Neo Diogenes and his reign of tyranny and terror. I have no clue. But according to Dolan, that was the mod that was going on this wacky power trip. And this mod here is saying that they actually tried to lift the lockdown, which, you know, trying to get them out of DEF CON, ended up putting their own asshole in the crosshairs of superstar sniper Neo Diogenes, and he enacted revenge. He reinstated lockdown protocol and then booted this mod.
The only other active moderator I could find also posted that they didn't leave voluntarily, calling the mod that kicked them stupid, and providing proof they were randomly kicked, saying it was definitely just one mod crashing out.
This is another r/art moderator echoing the same sentiment as the previous one about getting kicked randomly. So basically, Neo Diogenes was purging. He was on a fucking crazy crash out, leaving bodies in his wake. I don't have access to any logs anymore, but I can post this as proof that I didn't leave voluntarily. You don't get these messages when you leave a subreddit on your own. I'm not sure which mod did it, but they're fucking stupid in any case. And then they posted the screenshot. The other message Dolan highlights from this mod is about how they believe it is one mod crashing out, which I think is the correct theory here. I think that's pinning the tail on the donkey. And keep in mind, all of this started because the person whose post they removed messaged him asking, "Are you really going to do this because I provided information?" That's what started all of this. Someone just messaged the mod, loosely questioning their decision, like with the enforcement of their rules, because it was a bit of a stretch. And that's what started all of this. Someone dared have the gall, the chin, the strong chin, to question Neo Diogenes.
Now, during Neo Diogenes' crash out, he actually left a bunch of unhinged, sarcastic messages, deleting them 30 minutes later. Comments such as, "You're right, we look like total shits. It's why we quit. Better to be done with all that because we obviously suck at everything. You won, we quit. Go and live life to the fullest, champ. Like I said, I'm boring."
Looking at the message history from Neo Diogenes is just so sad. Yep, it's my fragile ego. For 15 years, all I did was, I'm assuming that says moderate. I don't know why it's censored. Maybe it's a joke. Maybe Dolan's viewing it as like a slur. And Reddit. Sometimes simultaneously. Holy shit, this guy's like an X-Men mutant. He's able to moderate and Reddit at the same time? What the fuck? I didn't know anyone could be so powerful. I was blissfully unaware that superhumans like this existed amongst us mere mortals. Wow, that's crazy talent. God, the tone of his messages is truly insufferable, just playing the world's smallest violin for his pity party and the wambulance showing up. Yep, that's right, it was a temper tantrum. I've learned my lesson, it's why I'm not going to be a mod again. I'm not cut out for it. Sure, whatever you want to call it, either way the result is what you see. You're right, it would have been a good idea in hindsight and all that. You're right, we look like total shits, it's why we quit. Better to be done with all that because we obviously suck at, well, everything. Actually disgusting that he's roping in anyone else on the mod team to his temper tantrum. This was a solo project here from this guy. It was entirely just him alone on the front lines of this battle. The mod team was not backing him from everything I've seen.
And now, it looks like he has completely nuked his Reddit account. I actually caught this in action when I checked out his account earlier today. All of his posts being deleted and replaced with random words using a plugin, and now his Reddit account has absolutely no posts left on it, nuking 15 years of moderation that he did for free, by the way, nuking an entire subreddit because you couldn't deal with criticism, and then kicking every other mod while you're at it, making it their problem as well, and then deleting every single comment you've ever made on Reddit. That's some major main character energy there.
That was a beautiful callback from Dolan there. That shit had me giggling when he brought out the major main character energy. That was what Neo Diogenes said to Hayden Clay when Hayden was like, hey man, it really feels like you have a vendetta against me because of this is just way too extreme with what you're doing. That was one of his responses. He said, I don't even know who the fuck you are. That is some major main character energy. So, based on this investigation here, with all available evidence, it seems that that post, we out, you win, we all resign, was very misleading. The truth hidden in the pudding here is that one mod was going through a very impressive crash out, and while still power tripping, sucking their own dick, kicked the other mods of r/art, then made that post, making it seem like they all banded together in unity and left together as a result of the backlash from this guy going off the rails. That is a nefarious plot right there. That is dubious, to say the least. So now all the other mods that seem to not be on his side at all have now been roped into it because of him kicking them, making that post, making it seem as though they were still suckling off his nipples there. Like, hey, we're in this together. Like as if they were backing him up. But that's just not the case, it doesn't seem. That's crazy to go this far. So he kicks all the other mods and then deletes his entire 15-year Reddit history, and it seems like Reddit is the most important thing to this guy's life. So that is a big fucking deal. All because the guy whose post you removed dared ask for more clarification and if there was any wiggle room to maybe, like, instead of delete everything, just remove that comment that he believed was violative. Because someone dared ask him a question and try and, like, expand and question him, it started this crash out. That's unhinged. And I'm not exaggerating either. It was one message that set this guy off. They hadn't talked previously from what I can see. When that post was removed, he just asked, hey, are you really going to remove it because I gave a little extra information? And immediately he goes into, like, combat stance. He's like, all right, it's time to get pugilistic. You ready for fisticuffs? I'm gonna maybe delete your entire post history. Would you like that? I could do that if you want. And the guy's like, okay, bud, calm down here. And he's like, okay, it's gone. Like, that's it. He took the smallest, most trivial nothing burger and blew it up into this. I just can't, like, it is a very special crash out. And also, my apologies to the mod team. I had no idea that he was using you like puppets in his game here. He was the chess master and you were pawns on his board. I didn't know, and I apologize for, I guess, making the assumption that you were all, you know, fighting together here based on his posts saying that you were, or implying that you were. And I'm going to be super honest with you here, sports fans. It's hard for me to even be mad at this mod anymore. It has become, it's so fucking cartoonish at this point, this level of pettiness. I didn't even know somebody could be so petty. I didn't know that was possible. And from what I can tell, Hayden Clay as a result of all of this, has gotten a ton of support. So that's really good to see. And it has just been a pretty incredible series of events to watch unfold here over the last 24 hours. Anyway, I had to give you the follow-up here once I watched Dolan Darkest video on it. Unreal. That's about it. See ya.